What's your name? What's your name? Zawo? Ooh, that's different.
What's your name? What's your name? Zayla? Ooh, that's different. What's your name? What's your name? Zabo? Ooh, that's different. What's your name? What's your name? Zabo? Ooh, that's different. What's your name? Zabo? Ooh, that's different.
For us guys, Zabo is like the godfather, okay? We love him. He's been around for a long time now.
Well, the longest running trial in Georgia history is nearing an end. Attorneys in the YSL RICO case today, they are making their closing arguments before the jury. 11 Live's Joe Hinkey, different Joe, live at the Fulton County Courthouse. Hey, Joe. So this case has been with us, more than 24 people being indicted. That's how it began. The jury now responsible to decide whether just 2 defendants are guilty here.
Well, that's right, Faith. We've come a long way. For those who've been following along, you'll remember more than 2 years ago, a Fulton County grand jury returned the indictment in this case that led to this trial. Ever since then, the number of defendants, it's been greatly whittled down. Many of them entered guilty pleas, including recently taking a plea was rapper Young Thug, also known as Jeffrey Williams, the most well-known defendant in this case. And as you said, right now, there's only 2 defendants remaining. They're inside the Fulton County Courthouse behind me, where their attorneys are giving closing arguments as they're charged with murder and racketeering.
How do you know someone agrees? Look at what they do.
Prosecutor Christian Adkins made his closing argument Monday morning, claiming defendants Shannon Stillwell and Diamante Kendrick decided to be part of a criminal gang known as Young Slime Life, or YSL, and their actions prove it. The pair are charged with murder for the 2015 deadly shooting of Donovan Thomas outside an Atlanta barber shop, and Kendrick is also charged in the 2022 deadly drive-by shooting of Shamel Drinks near downtown Atlanta.
Murder gang isn't some facade. This isn't for clout. This is real life. And this is the bragging and the boasting above the law and proving that they're doing it for the street gang. They're telling you. Nothing I've said so far with these 2 murders is anything but their own words.
In his argument, Adkins claimed the defendants knowingly committed murder and other crimes in the name of YSL, also making them guilty of racketeering. But Stillwell's defense attorney says the state failed to prove their case.
He didn't kill Donovan Thomas. Well, he killed Shamel Drinks. That's proof right there. No, he didn't kill Shamel Drinks.
Attorney Max Shart says all Stillwell is guilty of is belonging to a rap label called YSL.
What have they proven Shannon Stillwell has done to say that he knowingly and willfully conspired to do anything other than to be around Jeffrey Williams and try to make music and further his rap career and be around people that he identified with?
And right now, Shannon Stillwell's attorney is still in the middle of his closing argument. Then Diamante Kendrick's attorney will have an opportunity to give a closing argument. And finally, the state prosecutors, they can give a rebuttal to those closing arguments. So it appears we still have several more hours of closing arguments to go before this case can finally be handed over to a jury. Reporting from the Fulton County Courthouse, I'm Joe Henke, 11 Alive News.
Say, that's crazy, bro. Say, that's crazy, bro.
Accusations are easy to make. Allegations are easy to wage. And this indictment has plenty of both. But here's the thing. There's a big difference between making allegations and proving them in court beyond a reasonable doubt to the citizens of Fulton County. It's a different matter entirely. The state has spent the past year with a hammer in their hand, banging on a square peg that they call evidence. Banging, 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 trying so hard to fit that square peg into the round hole that they call their narrative, their theory. And the reality is that square peg does not fit in that round hole. It never fit. The state hasn't proven their case, and they certainly haven't proven their case beyond a reasonable doubt. In this indictment, the state accused Shannon Stillwell in count 1 of violating conspiring to violate the Georgia RICO Act. He did not. They have not proven their case beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm going to ask you to find Shannon Stillwell not guilty. In count 2, the state alleged that Shannon Stillwell on January 10, 2015, shot and killed Donovan Thomas. He did not. The state hasn't proven their case beyond a reasonable doubt, and I'm going to ask you to find Shannon Stillwell not guilty of count 2. In counts 49 through 54, the state has alleged that Shannon Stillwell on March 14, 2022, shot and killed Shamel Drinks.
Anyone with $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans may qualify for help from National Debt Relief. Minimum payments could literally keep you in debt for decades. $10,000 in debt can take anywhere from 14 to 26 years to pay off if you're only paying the minimums. And that's just $10,000. I know many of us have a lot more than that. Getting started is easy, and the process has already helped over 500,000 people and counting.
I called immediately. Congratulations, you qualify to be a part of the National Debt Relief Program. And you're not alone in that shame left. I cried. I'm debt free. Wow, I can't thank National Debt Relief enough. I can't thank them enough.
Find out if you're eligible today. Click the link on this video and answer a few short questions. If you have $10,000 or more in debt, there's a good chance you'll qualify.
This is not too good to be true. I had an end date. I got the email, it said, congratulations, you are now debt free. My relationship is much better now. There is this entire...
He did not. The state has not proven their case beyond a reasonable doubt. And I'm going to ask you to find Shannon Stillwell not guilty. Good morning. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think I've made this abundantly clear over the past year. My name is Max Shard, and I represent Shannon Stillwell. But that's not the entire story. In fact, I have been joined by my co-counsel, Mr. David Botts, my wonderful legal assistant, Shaquille Kokomo, and it's been our honor to represent Mr. Shannon Stillwell throughout this process. And I'm excited for the opportunity to talk to all of you about the evidence that we have heard over this past year. But before we get started with that, I want to acknowledge you, the jurors. I want to acknowledge the immense time commitment that you have given this case. I want to acknowledge the sacrifice to your family, the sacrifice to your job, the sacrifice to your vacation plans. I want to acknowledge the patience that you have shown me and all the other attorneys. And I want to acknowledge the attention that you have shown this case. It's greatly appreciated. I acknowledge the fact that you have been paying close attention to this case. And for that reason, I'm going to try to avoid rehashing every piece of evidence. I'm going to try to be as direct and concise as possible to avoid unnecessarily taking up too much more of your time. Mr. Kokomo, if you could put page 3 up. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's just get into it, okay? Count 1, as the state discussed in their opening, Mr. Stillwell is charged with conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organization Act. And essentially they're saying he conspired to acquire, maintain directly or indirectly an interest in and control of United States currency and other personal property through a pattern of racketeering activity. And, while associated with an enterprise, did unlawfully conspire to conduct and participate in, directly and indirectly, such enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. It's a lot of words, that's a mouthful. And we're going to get to talking about what that means, what it doesn't mean, how it applies to the evidence that's been presented in this case. But before we even get there, I want to talk to you about a big part of the state's case in count 1, but also the other counts that they allege against my client. And that is the state's use of quote-unquote expert witnesses, more specifically the gang investigators that they have called. Mr. Kokomo, if you could put on page 4. They've called, as you probably recall,
the future is not just going to happen. You have to make it. And if you want a successful business,
a gentleman named Belknap, investigator Underwood, investigator Dennis, investigator Gaither, and investigator Viverito. Some of those people they've called multiple times in this case. And I want to talk to you about how to analyze their testimony and what your duties as jurors are to consider how much weight to give the testimony of those witnesses, those quote-unquote self-proclaimed experts. Witnesses, expert or otherwise. Testimony of an expert, like that of all witnesses, is to be given only such weight and credit as you think it is. Expert witnesses are just like any other witness, and you're going to be instructed on how to evaluate the credibility of any witness. Not just lay witnesses, but experts as well. And there's some factors that the Honorable Court is going to give you to consider in evaluating the credibility and evaluating how much weight to give these witnesses. Some of the factors are their manner of testifying, how they come across at the stand, how they act, their means and opportunity of knowing facts for which they testify, their interest or lack of interest in the outcome of the case. Are they biased? And their personal credibility as you observe it. Those are all factors you can consider when evaluating Investigator Gaither, Investigator Dennis, Investigator Viverito. So let's talk about the testimony and what we observed from the stand from these experts. I'd like to talk to you about their training. What did we learn about their training, all these experts? Well, we heard GGIA, Georgia Gang Investigators Association. We heard that a lot, about how there's 20 members. Remember? And we ask about what your training is, and they say, well, I go to the 2-day seminar, every year. GGIA, there's 20 members. And then we learn who teaches at these seminars. Remember Detective Underwood? Remember Detective Underwood? And Detective Underwood was a nice lady, but she was sent up here on a fool's errand. They wanted her to testify about the intersection of gangs and music. And she clearly wasn't qualified. She knew almost nothing about music. But she said, yeah, I'm qualified because I think I did a 2-hour block a couple years ago on that. Okay. I think Viverito taught that class. Okay. So now Viverito is the teacher. So I asked her, I said, oh, very interesting. You took a 2-hour class a couple years ago in this subject, and that makes you...
What's your name? What's your name? Zabo? Ooh, that's different. What's your name? What's your name? Zabo? Ooh, that's different.
two out, you left, and those you who did like I did and went stag and just visited everybody, most of it I could, and just enjoyed family. Yesterday, we had a real moment of experience with my family to where I went to one of my nephew's house and he had found a video of our family traditions. And that's why I chose to talk about traditions today. And it was a VHS that we had in 1995 of our family traditions on Christmas. And one of our traditions for Christmas was the fact that everyone had to meet at Big Mama's house for breakfast. No one was able to not attend. You know, you had no exceptions. You had to be there, or you got a phone call from somebody, which was probably the head of the family, which was my mother. And you know, she was the oldest of her siblings, so she's more like the one that kept the family together, kept everybody on point. You know, up until the day she left this earth. Traditions are real meaningful to your family. It keeps us bonded. It keeps everybody together. It keeps us on the same pages, and it also helps us in ways that some of us don't realize until we are adults ourselves, which is family values of our kids growing up with a tradition that I spoke on last week on. You know, we got to get back to doing things as families. We got to start back reiterating what family actually means. You know, and I'm quite sure it's a lot of us out here who probably still have their grandmoms, great-grandmoms, mothers and fathers still living. I don't have that. We don't have that in my family, you know, right now. You know, we have one uncle that's left out of my mother's entire family. You know, so we gotta start figuring out something to do with our uncle. You know what I'm saying? Because he's one of the traditional starters as well. You know what I'm saying? So he's one of those people that, you know, this uncle was one of the people who was in the family that he was the disciplinarian of the family. You know, he didn't play. Uncle Brother did not play with you. You know, when he laughed with you when it was time to laugh, and he did the things that he needed to do to keep you in check when he had to do that as well. You know, so a lot of our morals and standards of life came from our aunts and uncles in my family. And those are some of the traditions that I have kept going throughout my lifetime with my family. You know, we're a very family-oriented people, you know, and we don't meet strangers. We don't meet strangers. You know, so these are things that we got to put back in our lives. You know, Big Mama's gone, Mom gone, Dad's gone, you know, the other people that was the metamorphosis of the family that either gave you advice or they tried to keep you in check by being real with you. My family was real with you. They was real with you at all times, you know, and I think it kind of rubbed off on me a lot, you know, because I can't be nothing but real. I can't be nothing but real, you know, so I was raised not to entertain bullshit. And if we can get that back in our society to where our kids and other loved ones don't entertain bull crap, the world can probably wind up being a better place. You know, it's more to making America great again than politicians. We can start by bringing back family morals, family traditions. You know, it's time for somebody else to stand up in the families and take that position, take that responsibility, and make it happen. You know, because if we don't, a lot of us gonna fall by the wayside again. And that's not healthy. That's not healthy in our day and time right now. We got to show the system that we can become people of value, people of morals, people of discipline. You know, so we got to start, as they used to say, at home. We got to start at home. You know, we're now in the points of our lives, some of us, that we have kids who have kids, which is our grandkids, and some of our grandkids who have kids, who are our great-grandkids. So the life expectancy goes on. It has continued. So therefore, now it's our time to be big mama, granddaddy, and instill the morals that was instilled in us to our next generation, and let them instill it to the next generation. You know, so we got to really make a stand. You know, it is, you know, and I can't say it enough. It's not about being into politics to make a stand. We can make a stand by bringing our families together. We can make a stand by putting people in perspective places to help carry out the mission. The mission can only be carried out if we have good leaders. Good leaders make good soldiers. Our soldiers are the ones who complete the mission. They carry out the mission and they complete it. You know, so we got to really start putting a value on life again. You know, we hear people say a lot about the young generation this and the young generation is that. You know, people scared of them. You know, people feel like, you know, you can't say this or that or the other because the young people today, they don't understand that they can understand it. There's no such thing you can't understand something. You can understand. You can be shown how to understand things. If it's explained to you right, if it's shown to you right. We can't get caught up in letting, you know, what other people think control how we raise our kids. You know, and I was really intrigued last night because I was hearing my nephews after seeing our family video on our traditions, on what they were raised up in. You know, I had one of my nephews said, "Hey man, we some punks, huh? Cause we let our children do whatever." And I was intrigued by him saying that because that let me know that he actually paid attention to what he was looking at, and he understood it. He understood it. You know, so I've never been that person to believe that, to say that, you know, this thing of where we used to always hear our siblings saying, some of us have said it, I'm not gonna raise my children like I was raised. Bullshit. I'm definitely gonna raise my kids the way I was raised because I wasn't raised in a bad manner. You know, I don't understand what people mean when they say that. You know, if you were raised with morals, if you were raised with discipline, if you were raised with ethics of life, How can you not want your kids to be raised with that? How can you not want your kids to be raised like that? You know, some of us say our parents were too strict. They weren't strict. They were responsible. Let's get the terms right. Our parents were responsible because they had to be responsible. They didn't have a way out to where, you know, you can take the children to grandmama or big mama and she raised your children. We didn't have that. They made you responsible for your responsibilities, which was your kids, which was your life, which was whatever you had to do in your life. So how can you be against something that was morally instilled in you? Let's make it make sense. You know, what part of you saying you don't want your kids to be raised like you were raised, that was bad? You know, so I don't get it. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. You know, as Barney Mac said one day in a show, our kids became punk ass parents. And some of us became punk ass parents because we fell into the system's landfill of discipline. They threw discipline into the landfill and made you scared of your kids. Made you fear your kids on a level to where you felt that you couldn't chastise your child. That's a bunch of shit. Now these kids need chastising. Now these kids need proper leadership. Now these kids need people to show them love. These kids are running around in the street. Some of these kids are running around in the street, running amok, just doing whatever, because no one take the time to tell them I love you. No one take the time to show them love. So they think that being in the street is showing them love. The street don't give a damn about you. The streets will eat you up and spit your ass out. And spit you out. You got to start iterating tradition. We're going to be talking about, you know, that's why this show is different. I'm going to talk about things that mean something. I'm not going to sit back and go back and forth with people who feel some kind of way, or people who think some kind of way about me, or think some kind of way about us as a people. You know, I'm trying to bring us together. I'm trying to bring our people together, because we are the only race that's easy to conquer. And we be easy to conquer because we allow people to separate us on anything, however. You know, so in order to conquer, you must divide. So as long as someone know that they can come between you and yours, they win. They win. We got to stop that. We have to stop that as a people. So let's start doing that. Let's start making that part of our daily routine. Sit down, talk to your kids, see what's on their minds. You know, why in the hell should we have to go to a doctor and let a doctor tell us that the reason our kids are acting a certain way or doing certain things is because they're ADHD? No, hell they are not. They just need somebody to talk to them. They just need somebody to listen to them. You know, it's not a problem to listen to your kids. Your kids can tell you some things that you probably never knew. A 2-year-old can teach you something. Trust me. It can happen. We got to start sitting our kids down, talking to them. Talk. And we open the floor up and let the kids talk. Now, what we can't do is allow the kids to feed us the bullshit like some of them gonna try to do. Trust me. They're gonna try to do that. You know, so as a parent, you have to be mindful to paying attention to these kids. You know, we think sometimes that the kids don't know something. And I think that's the biggest hoax of it all. You know, how can you think that your child don't know something or your child ain't capable of knowing something when you send them to school every day? You send them to school, you expect the teachers in the school to teach them. You expect your kids to learn something every day. So there's no way you should be sitting at home saying, my kid don't know this, or my kid can't comprehend this, or my kid can't comprehend that. Because they can. The kids of the day are far more smarter than we were. Trust me. Because they have a lot of technology, on-hands technology. We didn't have on-hand technology. All of our technology came from learning inside within the house. You know, how many of us sit down and take our kindergartners, our preschoolers, and teach them sight words? How many of us take our kindergartners and preschoolers and sit them down and tell them to tell us their ABCs, tell them to count to 10. Then after so long, you take it from 10 to 20, and so on and so on. Teach them how to count by 5. Teach them how to count by 2. These are the things that we had to learn as children. And you had siblings, or you had somebody in the neighborhood that you were so-called a friend, and this is how y'all taught each other. This is how we taught each other. So on a upscale, it took you through school. It took you through school. It helped you out to where if your parent wasn't educated enough to teach you, you had somebody that was. Now, we don't try to teach the kids nothing. You know, we give them bullshit games. We make sure they have them bullshit games that they like to play. And we let them go in their room and we don't see them till it's time to get them up to go to school the next day. The kids spend more time with their teachers, and if they're doing extracurricular activities with the people who are participating with them in those extracurricular activities, more than they do their parents. So how can you go to a school after the teachers have took enough off of your kid and decide to send your kid home to you on suspension, and then you go to the school and tell the damn teacher, you know your child. Your child won't do this. Your child won't do that. We don't know what our kids do when they're not in our presence. We don't know. You was a kid. Think about yourself. You was a kid once. You did things that your parents haven't found out, probably have never found out. Until one day we sitting around as adults and we talking about, when we were kids, or we reminiscing about things that we have done when we were kids, and then you wind up talking about it in that conversation. And then your parents looking at you like, oh, you did? You mean, so your ass skipped school one day? So how can you think that your children won't do the same thing? Because they will. And it has nothing to do with peer pressure. Nothing to do with peer pressure. That's just something your child decided to do one day, just like you did. So, we gotta stop blaming things. We gotta stop trying to find things to point the finger at before we point it at ourselves. We got to. So this is my challenge. The challenge I have for everybody is, let us start being parents. Let's bring the new year in and make that one of our New Year resolution, that we're going to do better parenting in 2025. We're going to do better parenting. We're going to have more leverage on our kids' behaviors than we have had. We're going to make sure that our kids are learning. We're going to start going to these, let's start going to these PTA meetings. Let's start calling the school or going to the school, asking them when is the PTA meetings. I haven't seen a PTA meeting letter in years. I don't even know if they still have PTA meetings. Let's go back to that. Let's put that back in our school system. Let's stop letting the system make everything about $1. Because that's where we at now. Anything your child do in school this day and time, it comes with a number. And then when you ask the school, what is this money for? They give you a cockamamie story that they don't even believe. But that's part of the narrative. That's part of the trick. It's part of the trick. Our public schools in Atlanta do not have booster clubs anymore. Make that make sense.
You gotta ask, do they really want parental involvement?
You say the parents need to come to the school more, come do this, that, and the other, but they don't never get an invite. Start back sending those invites out. Let's make it a village again. Let's take 2025 and make it a village again. Make our communities villages again. Just because they shut the damn projects down don't mean everybody died. Mm-hmm. They just put us on in society with y'all ass. Now we are part of corporate America because now we have to do the things that corporate America has to do to provide for your families. Let's make these people use these grants that they get on your behalf to do these events, to have these type of programs. Let's start making them, let's make it make sense. Let's make them spend the money like they're supposed to instead of keeping it at their damn houses for petty cash. All we got to do is start asking questions, start showing up, attend these schools. Pop in on your children sometime. Pop in on them. That's where you put the fear in them at. When they don't know when you coming to the school and you show up. When they know you coming, they know how to act that day. No, that ain't how it go. Pop up on him. See what he doing. See what she doing. Then that kills the argument. That kills the excuses. You know, how many of us check the children's backpacks to see if they got homework? You know, yeah, you can go on the website for the school and see what your children doing. But let's see what type of work they have. Let's see what type of work exercises they have to do every day. Make the teacher tired of you instead of your child. You know, it don't cost nothing to be a parent. Not one thing. Because once you become a parent, your life stopped then. Because now you're responsible for somebody else other than yourself.
Absolutely.
Other than yourself. You know, so it's not hard to do. These people get grants. The system get grants. The schools get grants. Everybody get grants for programs that our kids supposed to benefit from. They start putting them in these programs. That'll kill that damn ADHD shit. That'll kill that bipolar disorder shit. Because that's how they separate us so that they can spend the money on them and theirs. You know, one thing the system knows is that if you black, and I'm really going here, one thing the system knows for a fact is that if you are black, and if you're put in a situation to where you have to do some leg work, they know your ass gonna quit. They know you're not going to go through with the whole process. That's the reason why when you go downtown to a building and inquire about something, somebody tell you, well, go over here. And then you go to that place, and then they say, well, you need to go over there. And then they tell you to go somewhere else, and then you just say, fuck it, I'm going home. I ain't doing all that. No, do all that.
Exactly.
Do all of that. But keep a note of it. Because let me tell you what's going to happen. And it doesn't happen to me 100,000 times. That's why I do my own leg work. You're going to wind up right back at the first place you started at. And that's when you be mad. Because then you see that it's programmed to make you quit. You send a letter out, you answer to a letter, you answer to this or you answer to that, and then you never hear from nobody. You know why? Because they feel like if we don't answer, they ain't coming back. They gonna quit. And it's only us. It's only us. It's only our community. It's only our people in our generations. The black people. It's not a secret. All the system knows that the only thing they have to do is make it difficult for our asses, and we are going to quit. So therefore, our kids are raised in that shit. Our kids can go to school and they can be on a spelling bee. They can be in some type of program. It can be cheerleading. It can be football. It can be basketball. It can be anything. And at the first sign of somebody making our kids feel like they are a better person than they are at whatever it is, our kids quit. because they don't have no one to come home to that can give them the proper advice and say, hey, man, you got to keep going. If you practice, make perfect. You got to put in some more work. That's how you be competitive. Being competitive is not just for sports. Being competitive has something to do with anything that you have to do with multiple people. I've been sitting at the Fulton County Courthouse for 30 months being competitive, not quitting. I have got more comments on me being present than I have what the shit I've been speaking on. But I'm cool with that, because that let me know people are paying attention, because they don't see that. They don't see that. Go in some of these damn courtrooms, man. Your loved ones in there fighting by them damn selves. Because everybody is in fear. In fear of what? How can you fear somebody you don't know? How can you fear someone who's not threatening you? You gonna let doing your own leg work put fear in you? Because that's all they doing. You know, basically they are ignoring your ass. And the more they can ignore you and you fall into that trap, they win. We got to keep fighting. The game is scheduled for 4 quarters, 9 innings, or 2 halves.
Okay.
Either or, the game ain't over until the last second tick off the clock. So you got to keep fighting. This is tradition. See, Big Mama, back in the day, you know, we had this thing called welfare. Hey, when it was time for Big Mama to be recertified, she didn't wait till the day of recertification. She was down there a week before. She was down there 3 days early. It was never day of. When you put in programs, the program started 3 or 4 months ahead of time to give you time to get your paperwork done, to get your certification, to get everything in a proper perspective so that your child can be entered into that program. We got to get back to that. These people are getting millions of dollars in grants for our kids to be in programs. Let's let our kids enjoy that. Let's let our kids be a part of that. Because at the end of the day, it may be a grant from the government, but our ass still paying for it as taxpayers. So it's not free unless you don't participate.
I think sometimes though, sometimes they don't tell the parents about all the grants that are available.
But we know the programs are out there. You know, we know the programs are out there. They ain't got to tell you. Hey man, listen, I'm gonna tell you like I tell my children and grandchildren. It really rubs my goat when I see a kid or an adult say, how you do this? I wonder how you can go about doing this or doing that and the other. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at them like, what the hell? What you mean? You wonder. But now, if we were sitting here talking about when did Bill Cosby get arrested, get what everybody do? Oh, no, you wrong, Big Jeff. And then you get on your damn phone and Google it. Or you pick your phone up and say, when was Bill Cosby arrested? Why you couldn't do that shit to find out how you can get into this shit?
So you think you'll find out if you really want to know, pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? If you gonna Google the bullshit, Google something real.
Sometimes.
No, all the time. All the time, not sometimes. All the time.
Well, you're speaking from that perspective.
No, I'm speaking period.
But look, I've worked in the schools before.
I'm speaking period, Shadida.
So I know about some programs that are not like publicized, you know.
And I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm agreeing with that, but at the same time, if you know your child is in a school,
right,
and you know your child is supposed to be wants to be on a program, that program is functional in that school. Google it. Go to the school. Do like you'll do your husband. Ask him 1,000 goddamn questions.
You're right, though. You got to be inquisitive, right? You're definitely right about that.
Ask them the question. That's their job. That's their job.
And don't back down and get intimidated when they don't want to ask for the superintendent. Ask for the principal.
Hey, man, they have a superintendent over all schools.
Chain of command.
And then they have a public school office for all schools. They have people you can go to. But guess what? Like I said earlier, they know you ain't gonna do the leg work. So they know you're gonna quit. And seeing this is something else that broke my goat. We'll go argue with the damn receptionist and be mad at her and call her all kind of bitches and punk holes and all type of shit, and then walk out the office like we did something. You ain't did shit.
That's true.
You made their job easy because you let somebody who don't know what's going on, that's Shanita say. She don't know what's going on. So when she let you know that she don't know what's going on, why keep standing out questioning her? She can't do nothing but tell you the same shit.
Right, you gotta ask for the principal.
And then you get mad. No, just ask for somebody in a higher standard.
That's knowledgeable of whatever your question is. Right?
There you go. So stop arguing with these people. That's their job. They can't tell you no more than what their job description is.
Yeah, but
they can't tell you no more. So standing there arguing with them, you losing the battle.
Yeah, that's true. But they know who to get though. They know who to, like you said.
They can point you in the same direction, but if you give them attitude, they're gonna give you attitude back. So who gonna win?
That's true. That's absolutely
who gonna
true.
win?
What they say, you get more
humbleness.
Bees with
Be
sugar,
humble.
Bees with honey, right?
Be humble.
Yeah, that's true.
Be humble. It's somebody over everybody. Trust me. I don't know anybody that don't have a boss or have somebody over them.
Exactly.
In some nature. If you self-employed, you got somebody over you. Because you have to send paperwork in order for you to be self-employed. So somebody over you. You the owner of your business, yeah. But you gotta pay a lot of people to stay the owner of your business.
Okay.
If not, somebody else gonna own your business and your ass gonna own a sale somewhere. So everybody has somebody they have to report to.
True.
2025, let's change it. Let's start changing.
But do you think that's kind of why Trump want to come in and change the education system? I mean, it has to be. What do you think his reasoning for wanting to change the education system? Because Trump say he want to do away with the Department of Education.
Well, that's left up to the people. He can say it, but that don't mean he can do it. It'll be. We gotta stop listening to a lot of things that our president says, on a narrative of, some things are self-explanatory, man. You know what I'm saying? So, President Trump is a businessman. He's a businessman. So when you're talking to him, you have to talk to him with a business mindset. Mm-hmm. You can't talk to him with a political mindset because he's not into politics. He's into expanding a dollar as many ways as he can. Some things that Mr. Trump say, he know he can't do that shit. People, come on, man.
Shoot, I don't know now.
He can't do it. Trust me. If we was a dictatorship, he can.
I don't put that past him at this
We're
point.
not a dictatorship,
They said
people.
he couldn't run for president.
The
and
United
put 34
States,
felonies
the
and he
United
did.
States can never be a dictatorship. We'll never be a
Oh
dictatorship.
no, I don't believe that. That's
We got
just-
liberty.
I don't believe that particular rumor.
We have liberty.
Right.
So,
But who knows?
some things, man, we just can't get, we can't keep getting caught up into ignorance, man. Some things we don't even entertain. You don't entertain bullshit. Now, the way we can keep our society the way it is, like I just said, we got to unite. The only people in the laws, in the rights, on the rights bills, anything that has something to do with discipline in our United States ain't made for nothing but the black people. Nothing but blacks, man. We are the only ones who can't justify nothing. And the system ain't got so smart to where they say, okay then, we're going to put all these white sheets in the closet and we're going to put these black tablecloths on all the tables and let them play with each other. And we just sit back behind the scene. Because one thing you can definitely know for a fact about certain blacks and certain people, period. Some people you can't give authority to. Some people you cannot give authority to. Some people you cannot put in a position to where they have authority. They're going to abuse it. I'm 58 years old. I remember back in the, and it ain't just got like that. It's been like that. I used to hear my ancestors and siblings that was before me. Everybody used to always say, oh yeah, but that boy they're gonna wind up being the police, cause he always getting his ass tore up in the neighborhood. These are the people who we used to always say gonna wind up being the polices. Or in some type of law enforcement, so they can get some get back for getting beat up in the neighborhoods all their life.
And that's what happens too.
You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that don't make it true.
Sometimes, though.
Some of them become police officers and be the damn best police officers you can ever meet on the force. Because they just want to have some authority to say, all right now, Big Joe, you know I can take you to jail. Yeah, you can, dog, but I ain't gonna give you no reason to. I'm gonna respect your position. That's where we make our mistakes at. Just because this man is a police officer, you still can't treat him like that punk he was in the neighborhood. Now he got the power. She got the power. You got to respect it. No different than you working at a McDonald's and you're a cashier. If somebody come in there and spend their money, you got to accept their money, give them their change, give them their merchandise, and let them go. Mm-hmm. You got to respect them. If you want respect, you have to give it.
That's true.
If you get aggressive with somebody, that's gonna make them aggressive too. Now, who gonna win that fight? The person with the upper hand. The person with the upper hand gonna win that fight. But if you keep it humble, who knows what might happen? Who knows what might happen? I have people who have said Big Jeff got a bad attitude just because Big Jeff stand on what's right. You think I care about that? No. But I'm not going to go back and forth with him neither. If you feel like I got a bad attitude, or you feel like I'm a mean person, or however you want to identify me, so be it. I don't need all that. I don't need all that around me anyway. That's one less person I got to worry about trying to be my friend. I don't need no whole lot of friends. I need loyalty.
All right.
Friendship ain't never meant nothing to me. I believe in loyalty.
I know that's right. I don't care. Loyalty. I'll take loyalty any day over
So-
friendship.
So, if you feel like Big Jeff got attitude, stay away from him.
Amen.
Because he going to keep giving it to you. He going to keep, especially if you somebody I really don't want to deal with anyway.
Okay.
I can't wait for you to see that I have an attitude or think I got one. But I can't have an attitude. Ain't nobody done nothing to me for me to have an attitude. It's hard to push these buttons. But once you push that button,
That's it.
I'm going to give you what you asked for. I'm going to give you what you asked for. And I'm going to keep it solid. We still going to be who we are. I don't have a problem with telling a person I don't deal with you. I don't have a problem with telling a person I don't fuck with you if I have to. However, I have to get it to you for you to understand it's not going to be that. That's how I'm going to give it to you. I can sit around you all day and don't speak to you if I don't deal with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't owe you no nothing on speaking to you. So we see people walk past us every day and won't say a word. So what make me better than you?
That kill me when people try to be mad at you because they know they did something to you. That girls, man, these people crazy.
Well, that's guilt. That's called guilt. That's conscientious guilt.
Mad at you because you did something to me.
That all of that is guilt. You know what I'm saying? It is, when you know that a person is standing on their principles, sometimes people take a disliking to you. And that's why.
That's right.
And that's why. Some people feel like because of their positions, they can tell you anything.
Mm-hmm.
They can say something to you and, you supposed to take it as the gospel. Just like I had a damn sheriff told me that the reason that they took our IDs on the 8th floor of the Fulton County Courthouse for us to sit inside of an empty courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
When I asked them what's the purpose of this and, is this a proper procedure for us to do this? She said, yeah. I said, well, who made that? Who made this decision? She said the sheriff department did. Oh, so the judge didn't do that? The sheriff department. So what's the purpose of us giving somebody our ID to sit inside of an empty-ass courtroom?
Right.
And her answer to me was one of the boneheadedest damn answer that you had to really think that I was an ignorant-ass man. Her answer to me was, it's for your son's protection.
Like, what my ID gonna do?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Free?
It was for my son's protection?
Right.
I'm on the 8th floor. My son is on the 1st floor. What the hell threat is my ID? I'm his father.
And he wasn't even there last week, and they still took our ID.
I'm his father.
They still taking it. He's released.
We got the same name.
But he's released, and they're still taking our IDs, though. So.
But now, you let the whole world,
That's ridiculous.
but the whole world saw, y'all let a young man get up,
Hand them something.
a inmate get up in the courtroom that you all are in monitoring these inmates, and he walked past all of y'all and walk into the corridor of the courtroom. My son sitting in front of the damn judge, And he walked right up on my son and reached out to him like he handed him something.
Right. But we got to turn
And
our
that's
eye-
not a threat.
Right.
That wasn't a threat, huh? And then the same officer, when I went down there to storm that damn courtroom, the same officer had the audacity to walk up to me and say he was going to the bathroom. Are you fucking? I wouldn't give a damn if he was going to church. He wasn't supposed to be moving freely around a courtroom as an inmate.
When he want to. Right.
If we stand up the wrong way in the courtroom, y'all telling us to sit down.
What? If we look the wrong way.
But here's an inmate able to walk clearly through a courtroom.
Right.
And nobody said nothing. Horse of another color. This is how sometimes people can really think that they know you that good. Or they feel like you just a damn natural born idiot.
Exactly.
You know, so, but these are part of morals. These are part of traditions that we got to break.
Exactly.
We got to break these traditions that to allow these people to even have that type of thought process about us.
Right.
About people, period.
And to be able to just implement laws as they see fit when they want to.
You know, so tradition don't only means family.
That's true.
We got a lot of things in our systems that's tradition because everybody has grown to be a part of it. And they use it to their advantage. And they use it against us because they feel like we don't know laws.
And nobody, and because no one else has said anything about it. Why should you?
So now that goes back to what we said earlier. Google it, goddammit. If an officer walk up to you and say something to you and you don't understand or you feel like they feeding you some crap, get on your phone and say, hey Siri, this, that, and the third, and let Siri tell you what's happening. You can learn the law right there in front of an officer.
Well, we got a guest in the studio today that has did exactly what you said to do.
So now we got some special guests in the studio today.
Yep.
And without further ado, I'm gonna let him introduce himself because he's here to tell his story, you know, which y'all know this is nothing but the truth, and that's what we here for. So people can be allowed to tell their stories. Mm-hmm. So people can be allowed to talk their truths. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not that podcast.
Right.
We are the podcast for the people, not us. So, you know, this is a man who has been in a turmoil on himself. He has been fighting at the courthouse with us and our family. I really appreciate him. You know, so, you know, we're going to give him the flow. And I'm going to let him introduce himself to you. And you come around. And I'm going to let him tell his story. So, we're going to, you know, but I really want us to stick with that challenge I made. 2025, let's pay more attention to our kids. Let's start going to these schools. Let's start making these people, you know, send us the notices home you know, by the kids. Check these kids' book bags. Check their book bags when they ass leave the house. Check their book bags when they come back to the house. Mm-hmm. Check for their homework. Check to see, you know, make them send a lunch schedule. Because they done stop giving a damn whether your child allergic to something or not in schools now. They just feeding them any damn thing. You know, so, you know, let's go back to the old school. Because that's what we need right now. We need to go back old school. We need to go back to Big Mama. You know what I'm saying? You know, we can have discipline in the school without you beating a child. You know, call the parents, let the parents come up there and beat them. You know, my mom was a firm believer in she gonna whoop your ass where you showed out at. And ain't gonna hesitate. I got my ass whooped in front of my whole 5th grade class. Till they still talk about it at the reunions right to this day. Every time I see one of my partners from school at the reunion, when I do go, that be probably the first thing they say, "Goddamn, Jeff, boy, you remember your mama whooped your ass in front of the class?" In front of the whole 5th grade class. And when they told my mama to take me in the bathroom, she said, "For what? He ain't show out in the bathroom." And kept whipping.
Hold that butt up.
You know, and then my teacher, Miss Myers, gonna have the nerve to tell me after the ass whipping over, I barely can sit down. She gonna say, "I'm sorry I called your mama, Jeffrey." Are you serious? Are you serious? But let me tell you something. I'm 58 years old, man. I appreciate every minute of that ass whipping right now. Wish she were here to give me a nut. I appreciate it now. Now I understand.
Yeah.
Now I understand that when it's time to handle business, you handle your business and you go on about your business, son. People are not impressed. I found that out that day. People are not impressed. You want to impress me? Tell me what that damn lottery gonna be.
Huh? The lottery.
Tell me what the Mega Million gonna be if you want to impress me. Other than that, I'm not impressed.
Not impressed.
I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. My mom gave us the toughest love she can give you because she was a single mother raising 9 boys. And I'm number 10 out of 10 boys. I'm number 10.
And I tell him all the time, he has a lot of wisdom. I'm telling you.
So
I told him, when he tell me stuff, and it happened like, bam, I be like, how did you know?
All of my brothers are bigger than me, taller than me, the whole nine. I was the run of the little. But I had to be, all the hand-me-downs came to my little bit ass. So you can imagine how I used to have to wear clothes to school sometimes. I got brothers who wore from 13s down to 10s in shoes. I know how I feel to have a whole newspaper in your shoe. My feet ought to be the smartest shit in the world. All the newspaper we done had to walk on. Shit. My feet need to be so smart, man. My feet need to be some geniuses. Because I done had to put a lot of newspaper in my shoe to fill them up. So, you know, but I appreciated every moment of it. I appreciate every moment of it because it taught me something.
It does.
It taught me something. It made me go to work every day. I got a 39-year work history. It made me part of the man that I am today. Discipline made me the man that I am today. So we're gonna let the brother come on in.
All right.
We're gonna let him introduce himself, and then he can give y'all the narrative of his story, and he can talk his story.
Well, I definitely appreciate being here, giving me your platform for me to share my story. I've been there to try to support you, as you mentioned, your family. And my mom has 6 boys. I'm the 5th of 6 boys. And She's here with me, and we were just talking the other day of how strict she was. If we left a fork in the sink, she would come pour water on us. I ain't gonna say many other stories. I can tell you some devastating stories.
Hey man, we
Don't
want to
get her
hear.
locked up now.
Right.
Hey man, let me tell you something. You know, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna give you back the flow.
Right.
If the law for beating your child was out when we were children,
Right.
a lot of our parents will have life
I'm trying to
sentences,
tell
man,
you.
with no parole,
I'm trying to tell you.
Be locked up.
and wouldn't be mad at all about it.
My mom is 5'1", 115 pounds, and we feared her. You know, and I'm a big guy. I'm 6'6",
There you go.
250 pounds. So, but yeah, so I'm Ja Wesley. I'm from Chicago. I've been in Atlanta since 2010. Just a quick nutshell of my story. I was jumped, beaten in 2018 on Edgewood Avenue. I was beaten into a coma based on their perception of my sexual orientation. They called me all type of homophobic slurs and epithets. And I sat there and I filmed them. You know, coming from the fifth of six boys, I couldn't run from a fight or couldn't run home because my brothers was going to jump me.
That's right.
So although I didn't say nothing, I didn't agitate them, I didn't curse them back out, I just filmed them. And even with me filming them, I end up waking up from the hospital, being taken to Rice Street for disorderly conduct called a fray. But they dismissed the charges against one of the main assailants while they took my case, that disorderly conduct, and charged me with the felony. I was working with Delta Airlines. I was general manager of the Sky Clubs. I lost my entire job. It was Delta that came and knocked on my door and said, you lied to us. You told us that you have a pending misdemeanor, a disorderly conduct. They said, we want you to write down what your true charges are. And I just wrote down disorderly conduct, and they wanted me to explain what happened. They say, you know what? You're fired. They say, you're lying to us in our face. They say, you have a felony. They said, you have a pending felony. I had no clue. And I had an attorney. I had an attorney, Gerald Griggs, that I paid $5,000 for.
Piece of shit.
You gonna drop the mic on that one. I second that motion, sir. I second that motion. But, you know, having no criminal background, having an attorney, having my assailants on camera, how does it make sense that I even got charged with the disorderly conduct? How does it make sense that that disorderly conduct becomes a felony? How does it make sense that the main guy on camera slapping me have his charges dismissed? It took me 4 years. Ultimately, this all happened in November 2018. So we are at the 6-year anniversary, and no one has been prosecuted. 2 people have been indicted, but now they're trying to switch it and say only 1 person has been indicted.
And I do have to say this too. Since we are not attorneys, we are not we're not able to give legal advice. However, we do have an attorney, Courtney Kramer. She has chimed in, and she did offer to answer any legal questions that we may have.
Miss Kramer, how are you?
Yes, we love Courtney.
You may remember me when you came down to the protest. I opened the door to your car to get in when you were leaving, and I gave you a brochure outlining what my story is. So that, yeah. I need an attorney, Attorney Kramer. I need a civil attorney. But we'll save that for another day. But I guess one of the questions that we had just brought up is, how can 2 people be indicted and now they're saying it's only 1? It's my understanding of the law that only a judge or jury can dismiss or acquit you once you've been indicted.
Okay, so this is the question that I had asked her while you were talking, because I figured you would have that question. Right. So I said his question is about his charges. How can his charges be upgraded from a misdemeanor to a felony without his knowledge?
Right. And I never went to court. I never saw a judge. I never saw a jury. Wow. So how do I go from a misdemeanor to a felony, and I have an attorney, and I've never seen the lights of a courtroom?
And you weren't notified, you weren't informed that your charges were operated. I'd asked her that, so I'm waiting to see what she says.
So it's just, it's just really.
And she also said she can come in. Courtney said she can come in next week and answer, and be a live person to answer questions.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll tease the audience. We won't necessarily give them too much. Make them come back next week.
Yeah. So what we can do is just have a list of questions,
Right.
so that way we're not putting her on the spot right now to answer all these questions, but we can get her these questions, and then she can come back with the answers later, because she says she's definitely willing to answer these questions for us.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Ms. Kramer, I definitely appreciate you. I look forward to meeting you, and it's just about bringing justice to Fulton County, because Fulton County criminal justice system is destroying Black men. I mean, I've worked so hard, coming from gang, drug-ridden neighborhoods to stay steadfast and manifest on the right track. And I get down here and I'm catching these petty-ass cases as if I've done something wrong to somebody. It's like they're targeting me. I've never had any stress or depression or mental anguish until these charges start happening. They have me on medicine because I'm so depressed and PTSD and anxiety. I have flashbacks from being beaten and waking up in a coma, trying to pull the tubes out my mouth.
Wow.
They had to lock me down. Like, it's crazy. And my mom, out of those 6 boys I mentioned earlier, 2 were murdered and 1 drowned, and she almost lost the 4th. 1 was murdered on Christmas Day. 1 was murdered December 10th. 4 years apart. 1 was drowned on Father's Day. And here was the week of Thanksgiving. I was listed as a John Doe at Grady. I didn't show up. Nobody knew where I was at my job, at home, Thanksgiving here. I didn't show up. They started calling prisons. They started calling the hospitals. And I had a friend, she snuck up into Grady and was going room to room.
Wow.
And found me in the ICU.
Is that how they found
That's how
your
they
family
found
you?
Yep.
Wow. That's awesome.
And so it's just, it's just devastating, And the second situation I'm facing, as we discussed earlier, Anita, is, 2020. I'm at the Cheesecake Factory waiting on a $100 food order. The police tap me and say, you gotta go. I simply ask why. As Black men, we're not, I listened to Big Jeffrey saying, be humble. And in the humblest way I could, I asked why. He said, because I said so. I said, well, that's not good enough for me. I said, I either need a refund or I need my food. Click, click. I'm being charged with trespassing when I'm paid for food. The Cheesecake Factory and call the police on me. To this day, I have no clue why they came and targeted me and say I had to leave. It makes no sense. And then in that instance, in 2020, I had just gotten my job back with Delta off an appeal. So I'm already 100% certain that I got my job back. I haven't started yet, but before I start, I have to go tell Delta. And it was so shameful. It was so embarrassing to have to go and say, I have another charge. They say what? I say trespassing. They say, what happened? I had to write it all out. They say, because we love you. We know you do an amazing job for us. We know that you love your job. We're going to take you back knowing that. But guess what they did? They waited a year later and went and added obstruction to justice to a police officer. Now, don't you think that police officer would have added obstruction to justice on that damn day when he was charging me with trespassing if I was obstructing justice? Why are you going to go and add obstruction when I just got my job back at Delta from the first time y'all fucked me over?
Because that's something they allowed to
So let me ask you this. So were they updating your indictment? Or, so I guess that's another question we can ask Courtney.
the DA's office and the Solicitor General's office, they can add charges or upgrade charges up to 2 years after
you've
the
been
incident.
charged?
Yes. So in each case, they waited like 2 years in the first case before they upgraded my disorderly conduct to a felony. Like nobody to this day can tell me how that makes sense. And then in my second situation, they waited 1.5 years after being charged with trespassing to add obstruction to justice to a police officer. Like the officer, as petty as he was being, he could have added that if he wanted to then, but he didn't because no one obstructed.
But obstructing justice on what level though?
Right, they can't tell me. They won't give me no answers. And I clearly understood what you were saying earlier as far as how you have to follow through the zigzag, the bullshit, the red tape, the bureaucracy, you know, kiss ass here and maybe curse somebody out. You do get mad when you want to curse somebody out, but you can't give up.
Yeah, can't give up.
You know, and to your point, they have barred me from Keith Gamage, the Solicitor General's office. Police star just, it was like the Matrix, jumping out the sky, jumping out the garbage can, telling me they gonna charge me with more charges if I ever come back to that office again. I stood up and I backed back. I was about to have an anxiety attack. What are y'all afraid of? That you don't want me back? And Funny Willis' office, the 3rd floor, did the exact same thing. They said her name was Rashonda Davenport, Will McComb, the chief investigator, Rickman, white man. They all pulled me aside and say, we escorting you out. If you contact anybody from this office again, you will be getting charged.
What?
So I've been barred from 2 offices that's public offices that's owned by the people. The people own those offices. You know, and the story, like, I mean, had they just charged me with the disorderly conduct and that was it, I could just suck that up. But
no, don't suck it up. If it ain't right, don't suck it up.
But it's just, and I feel you, but they do tire you out. I can't tell you how exhausted I am. I go to city council meetings. I go to commissioners meetings.
You got to go higher.
Right.
You got to go higher. You got to go to Congress.
Right.
You got to go. You know. I don't care if you have to take a trip to the White House, man.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And stand at the gate and let them. They'll see what you want. You know what I mean?
And
that's the verge I was on.
When you say in Congress, I went to Ebenezer Baptist Church. Raphael Warnock. Hear me out. No, hear me out. Hear me out. Senator Raphael Warnock was my pastor at this point, like 10 years. I go to him. I didn't go to him immediately. I went to him like almost 9 months, a year down the road. Because at this point, I'm homeless. I'm living out of hotels, cars, couch surfing from different people's house. And I got receipts to verify everything I'm saying. I go to my pastor. I said, Pastor, I don't got nowhere to live. I'm hungry. I don't got no food. It was a Tuesday. He said, come to the food pantry on Saturday. I go to the food pantry on Saturday. He comes with security and have me put out the food line.
What?
Yes. How does this make... And then that day in the meeting with him, he said, "You a liar." Who told you I'm a liar? Because you haven't even asked my story yet.
Do they think you're someone else, or what?
He know exactly who I was. Because
what's the reason?
I went to Bible study. I was in church every Sunday. They even used me on a commercial.
Just no reason.
And then he told me, he said, "You just trying to be a Jussie Smollett." Because Jussie Smollett's story had just started to come out. Wow. That's exactly what he told me.
Jussie Smollett charges.
So you beat yourself up then, huh?
Right.
According to them.
It's just to, you know, and I try to tell myself, like, listen to knowing your son's story and all of them that's been indicted, 28, I believe it was. Some people have it worse off than me, so I try not to complain. I try not to cry.
No, you got to do what you got to do, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and that's what I speak on when I talk. I speak on the unity. That's what the unity is about, because everybody has something that they're going through with these people.
Right.
So we gotta stand together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, if they can keep separating us, they win.
Right.
If they can keep putting that wedge between everybody, you know what I'm saying, then we also have to look at the fact that we gotta understand that we as a black community, when something goes wrong in our community, this is why I don't have a lot of respect for what the attorney name is, that's always in somebody's damn business, Ben Crow. I don't have no love
No, I
for
like
Ben
being
Crow.
now.
Huh?
I like being now.
You know, because I ain't saying I don't like him. I'm saying I don't agree with what he portrays. If it's not about money,
That's true.
Ben is not gonna stand with you.
Right.
But he'll put this scenario up that he's
I ain't
there to
going with
support
that.
people who are being wrongfully done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's not cool.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because if someone, if you fighting for, if you standing on the principle that you are saying you're fighting for, he should never be without a case right now.
Right.
Especially in Fulton County.
Right.
He should never be, his paperwork should be running down Peachtree Street.
Right.
You understand? Because he's actually witnessed the wrongdoing of the county. You understand what I'm saying?
But you gotta look at it like this, though.
You know,
when
so-
you in high demand, a lot of people be wanting you, though. Like they can't take the word. I mean, like the
No,
good.
but what I'm saying is this. He know him.
Who?
Jerome.
He know this guy over him. He
my
know
publicist.
him. You know me.
Uh-huh.
I know her. We know her. We know each other. We gotta stand together. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
We gotta stand together. You know, why should we? You know, we go stand for the young man that got eaten up by the bed bugs.
LaShawn Thompson.
We supported his family.
Right.
Why we ain't supporting him?
That's
You
right.
understand? You know,
Yeah.
why the people ain't supporting him in his situation?
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Injustice is injustice. I don't give a damn who it is.
I feel that way. I
So,
feel that way.
You know, for these guys to be out here saying that they are standing up for the blacks, for the truth of the matter, show up.
Right.
Now, you witness yourself. Me even trying to talk to this, I wasn't trying to ask him to take a case on our bad. I was just trying to have a conversation with him. And he blowed me off.
Right.
You know, which, you know, like I say, is always down to my team. My team will tell me, well, Big Jeff, you can talk to so and so for what? For what? But see, me being who I am,
He talking about me, y'all.
I let my team, I go on and put myself in that position
I do.
so that my team can see that it's not gonna happen like that.
That's true now, but I'm a Crump fan. I
Understand?
am.
So, you know,
But it's not just being Crump. It's the NAACP,
it's
the
every-
ACLU.
all of them. That's my point, man. When your rights being
Right,
violated,
yeah.
we have activists for this.
That's true, but okay.
We have
And that's true.
organizations for this.
That's true.
And they can't
They
come
pick
to
and
your
choose
aid.
though. They have
Right.
they have their picks where they pick and choose. I'm saying some of these organizations. I ain't talking about Chrome because that's my friend. I ain't jumping bandwagon now. I don't do that.
Gerald
but
Griggs, your friend
but
too, I hear.
Gerald Griggs is not. I would not call Gerald Griggs my friend, and I'm not finna sit here. I'm not finna sit here in front. I'm not finna sit here in front. And I knew that question was gonna come because I already know.
Griggs is
I already know.
Griggs.
But let me tell you this: what I am gonna say about Griggs is that Griggs is an awesome activist. When there's a protest, Griggs gonna put it together. Griggs represents someone that's near and very dear to me, my sister Maya. So I'm not for that reason alone. I'm not gonna say that much about him. I have been on the front line with Griggs, so I'm not gonna say negative, but I have exactly. I have heard both sides. I've heard your story before today. You have inboxed me before. And I did know your discrepancies that you did have with Griggs, but I didn't feel like that was my place to broadcast that, you know? Right. That's just like if somebody contacts Griggs about me. It ain't his place to broadcast everybody that contact, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't really know the story what happened between you and
But
Griggs.
I guarantee
If
you
I
he
call
will.
Griggs, he might have a different story from what you saying. You know what I'm saying? So
It's always three stories.
exactly. That's and so that's why I don't do that. I don't like if I go to Griggs, I'm not gonna say, oh, he calling me. I mean, I did tell him you contacted me. I did tell him that, or because I didn't know you, and I did know him. I have been in protests with him before, but I wouldn't call it a friend. I wouldn't say that. I would say a fellow person that have been to some protests together, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
But I do have a problem with they pick and choose what's benefiting them. That's when they do it.
Right.
You
And
understand
if it
what I'm
has
saying?
news media,
Yeah.
that helps. If you like famous, if you're white, you're rich, like all of those things help you to get, people to support you. But if you're marginalized, just a regular Joe Blow, like
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
But
if they, for one thing, what we can't misunderstand is this. The reason we're going back and forth about this person and some of these people is because we're talking realization. They move off of clout. They move off of certain type of stabilities.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, in other words, they're playing the political game.
I agree. There is a political game.
That's not a benefit for the people.
For the people.
Right.
It's a benefit
You
for
understand
them.
what I'm saying? So if you're not gonna stand for the people, don't stand in front of a microphone and say that you are.
Right.
Just say, hey man, I'm here for the cause.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And let that be the reason.
You
But don't
saying-
say you standing for the people because the people are us.
Right.
The people are the people who are being done wrongfully in the system.
But let me ask you
Wrongfully in
this:
situations.
as an activist, there are so many families that are affected. It's so many.
Definitely.
And you can't help everybody.
No, it's not about helping everybody. Let's get some clarity.
But how do you pick and choose?
It's this with me. I'm quite sure that Ben Crump, being the type of attorney that he is, he knows people who he can recommend to you to help you. He knows somewhere he knows some people that he can probably send you to. He knows some people he can probably put a phone call in and say, hey, help this person because they ain't in the best situation to help them. You understand? That's what I'm saying.
Right.
You know,
And that's true. And I get that. And if you've
I
never
opened this show up.
Yeah.
I opened this show up for any and everybody who want to attend it. I can put my life on. It's some people out there saying, how he letting this person come on there? How he letting that person come on his
Yeah,
show?
that's
Because this is an open fucking show. And I mean it just like I said. It's an open
everybody.
show for whoever
Everybody.
want to come and tell their story or talk. Because this is what we need in society.
That is true, but I gotta be, from my personal experience, I gotta be 100% honest though. There have been.
It's nothing but the truth.
It's nothing but the truth. My hand on the Bible. Attorney Michael Harper. That is the attorney for LaShawn Thomas, the guy that was eating up with the bed bugs. I was downtown one day. I was just downtown, and I saw them protesting on the sidewalk, and I was like, "What they protesting for?" And I stopped to ask him. We had a conversation, and Michael Harper, he can vouch for this. He could tell you that. He could vouch for this. And I was like, he was eating up, but he told me LaShawn's story. I said, dang, this sounds like something Ben needs to be involved in. I made that connection.
Okay.
I contacted Ben. So I'm saying.
And that's the point. That's my point. You knew somebody.
Right.
You called him.
Right.
He knows somebody. He can call him.
Right.
Or he can at least recommend you to him. Put you in that, put me on that track. You know, if you can't help me,
Right.
put me on a track.
That's true. That's
to help
absolutely
myself.
true. That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And then I'll feel comfortable to say,
Yeah.
you fighting with the people.
Yeah. Right.
I ain't asking you to fight with
Yeah.
me on your behalf,
Right.
but at least give me
Somebody else to
direction.
talk to. I agree with that. I agree 100. 100. I agree with that.
That's what being a vessel is.
Yeah.
Then we can sit here and have this
I
conversation
agree.
and say, well, you know, Ben Crump did put me on the right track, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree
That's
with that.
support.
Yeah.
We need the support of the people who want to play this political game.
That's true. And you know what too? And because I've worked for attorneys before, I feel like some of them get offended when we don't come to them first.
Hey, let me tell you something.
You know,
let me
they
tell
feel
you
like,
what-
well, you didn't come to me first. You went
let
to
me
that
tell you what
attorney
was said to
first.
me.
You know.
Let me tell you what was said to me by a man. He said the district attorney said that she would like nothing more than for this case not to be won, for the YSL case not to be won by Brian Steele. You understand what I'm saying? You know, to where they actually sent someone to me to say that to me. Because the thing is, they say that we as a people, they are tired of us. Now, this is what they are saying. They are tired of every time a rich black man, a rich black young man, or these artists or whoever wind up getting a case. They go out and hire these white boys to be their attorneys.
Yep.
And not the black attorneys, this, that, and third. First thing first now, I'm a black man, right?
Right.
My son was just on a trial for his life, right? I went to the whole city of Atlanta, Fulton County, state of Georgia, attorney organization. And then nobody answer me.
Yep.
But now, if I'd have went and got an Asian, a Haitian, a white man, as we used to say, black man, white man, Jew man, and one of them come and assist me, why should somebody be mad?
Right.
When I ask the people who I supposed to be able to come to for some help,
Right.
and they close their damn doors.
That's true.
So how you gonna be mad?
It's
First
all right.
of all, all the black attorneys, I ain't seen none of they motherfucking ass. None of them. The ones that I did reach out to, I ain't heard from them yet, and it's 30 months later.
And I was with him when he was
Okay,
trying to reach
so,
out to these
you
people.
know,
So he's telling the truth.
Let make it make sense.
Yeah.
Right.
If you want me to come, if you want me to reach out to you,
Yeah.
put yourself there for the support.
Right.
Yeah. And it's
Then I won't
heartbreaking.
have to go get a
Yeah.
white man or Jew or all this old shit y'all talk about.
That part.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let us see you stand up for the, hey man, you know how many,
And that goes back to the
I
point.
really want to start cursing, but I'm going to be cool. The Fulton County Jail got blacks on top of it being housed. Go in the Fulton County courtroom and see how many black attorneys in there representing any of these guys that's going to court. The only thing black in there is DAs, and they trying to hang their asses. They taking these kids to court without their attorneys even being present.
That is so true.
You understand? So let's make it make sense.
That's
Just like
so
I
true.
said earlier, what the light skinned people did was said, we gonna go, instead of us, see, they doing what I keep asking us to do. Let's go back to the old school. Cause see, they done went back to the old school. They done went back and sat down in one of them meetings and took them cloaks off and said, We're going to go Willie Lynch now. This is the day and time for Willie Lynch. All right? Let the niggas control the niggas. Let the niggas, okay, everything in the Fulton County District Attorney office or the house niggas.
They the worst. I mean,
they the house niggas. So guess what? They letting the house niggas be hopping ball.
But you know what? Everything you just said, I totally agree. But it wasn't my experience had I not been sitting in on this trial. I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah. Thank you.
I wouldn't have known that. That's like what we begin this show with, talking about tradition.
That's it.
My tradition, I would not have known any, like, I met Fonnie, like, last year she did, like, a benefit or something, like, for the public. A very nice, interaction meeting that I had with her. I wouldn't have known, not last year, right before the trial started. Yeah, a few years back. I didn't hear anything negative about her. I wouldn't have known anything negative about any DA. Like, my parents growing up, they didn't teach me nothing about corruption or anything about. I didn't know anything, and that goes back to that traditional stuff.
But see, if you have never had to deal with the system, you wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
That's why I say a lot about how can you enforce something on somebody when you have never been that.
Right.
You understand it? Like a counselor telling you how to raise your damn children, and then you say, well, Mr. Counselor or Miss Counselor, how many children you got? They said no.
I don't have no kids. Right. Like, girl, stop.
Tell me how to raise some children.
Or even like it kills me. Like, the mental health is the main thing with me. That really boils my bubble because I've dealt with it for 28 years now, and like dealing with a person with mental health, and then a person that hasn't dealt with the person with mental health, they think they can tell you like you don't know, like or
guess what?
Like
to
what?
Me,
like
in this day and time, and I'm not trying to say wrong or right about the situation, but this day and time, I got these are my beliefs. I got a real strong disbelief in mental health at this point.
I know you do, but
at this point, because
totally opposite.
Because people can enforce mental health on you. You know what I'm saying? It can be forced on you.
That's what my grandparents used to say. But I don't.
If you go to, it's like going to the doctor in the past time and say, well, doc, I stumped my toe and it's giving me some problem. And they say, well, where your toe hurt at? You say, right at the top. And then he go and he do his research and he say, well, we're going to call it turf toe. All right? Now, he give me some medication, give me some ointment, tell me to go home and, do my due, and it'll go away eventually, right? But I go, do everything the doctor told me to do. 6 months later, I'm back at the doctor. And he said, well, Mr. Williams, you got turf toe again. Long story short, this go on for 2 years. And then one day he said, well, I tell you what. He said to himself, I'm tired of this nigga coming out with this turf toe shit. So what we gonna do is we gonna test his strength. Well, Mr. Williams says we can't seem to find a solution to your problem and it go away. But you told me 2 years ago, if I do this, it's gonna go away. And then you said, well, we gonna have to cut part of your toe off that the turf is in. Really? You didn't know this 2 years ago?
Right.
You couldn't tell me this 2 years ago? Mental health. Mental health.
It's different.
That's not the same.
It's different. It's totally different.
That's an excuse. No, that's an excuse.
It is
my
not.
point is, this is an excuse to me.
It's not.
This is an excuse to me.
I see.
You gonna tell me I'm mentally incompetent?
But
I'm 58 years old, ain't never been diagnosed diagnosed for mental health in my life.
But it can become.
And now all of a sudden,
It could have been dormant.
huh?
It could have been
Or
dormant.
it
It could have been dormant.
It could have been something that just
Or undiagnosed.
Let me tell you something, man.
It's real. I will
Let me
say
tell you
it's
something.
real. I do.
My hair
understand.
great. My hair great. My hair turning great completely. I knew my hair was gonna do this when I was a child. I knew my hair was gonna do this. This ain't something had to be led me to. I had to be led to nothing. I knew it was gonna go back this color. It was gonna go completely gray because that's hereditary in me, in my family.
Right.
All right. Now.
And some mental health is
Now-
hereditary.
Now. There you go. I ain't waited 58 years to find out I'm a goddamn nut. I know this.
So you saying
as a child.
you should right.
You understand?
Okay,
Somewhere within 58 years,
You
the
should've
symptoms
already
should
knew
have
that.
been shown.
Yeah.
You understand? Some should. My mom ain't never been diagnosed in mental health.
Yeah.
My daddy, as far as I know, ain't none of my siblings never been.
But
Now
then-
all of a sudden, here I am.
But you could have had a traumatic event that could have caused it to
I
come.
get that.
Or you could have
I
got
get that,
something that,
but-
a drug or something that
I
could
get that,
Okay.
but these are causes, right?
Yeah. Right.
These are things that's my point.
But the
if I
other-
go to the doctor and the doctor don't want to give me, and the doctor feel like, well, okay, I'm just gonna get really more. I'm telling me mental health,
But Big
and
Jeffrey.
then you start giving me medication.
And,
I take it
and they
because
do that
that's what
too
we
sometimes. They
But
do that.
here's the other part
Yeah,
where
they
you
do
say
that
your
sometimes
parents, your
too.
mom, your dad, your siblings, black people never believed in mental health.
For a long
We
time.
didn't
We
go
weren't mentally-
to
we weren't
psychiatrists. We
mentally
didn't go there. We used to call them
Yes,
what, quack doctors. It's only to maybe recently now that we're beginning to go into it and
Because
see. Now
it's
the
an
one
excuse, man.
one way I
No,
agree
it was
with you is with
It's always been mental
For
health.
some people,
It's just
that's
that
an
we never-
excuse, man.
I-
Look at,
I would
man,
say with-
if I give you some medication to take every day, and you look up any medication, the effects of that medication can put your ass in a mental health state, can put your ass in a cancer state, can put your ass anything.
Yeah.
Trauma
Now,
as well.
check this out. I had
Right.
an aunt. I had an aunt, right?
Mm-hmm.
God rest her soul. My aunt refused to take medication. She never took medication up until the day she died. My aunt used to suffer with headaches, with migraine headaches. Never took medication. Okay? This woman lived to be 70 years old, I think. Aunt Dara was 70 years old when she passed away. She went to the doctor, man. True story, I'm telling you now. She went to the doctor. Her husband wound up taking her to the doctor. Told the doctor that my aunt had been having headaches throughout her life. The doctor gave her some medication, man, for him to give her. My aunt died within a month. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, to me, it's my opinion, her mindset made her go a different way. You understand? Because here she is, that lived to be 70 years old, done had the mindset that medication cannot do nothing for me on an illness, on any illness she done ever had. As soon as she buy into the idea and let her husband give her some medication, she didn't live 30 days.
No.
It's mindset, man.
Some stuff is.
It's mindset.
Some is.
Yeah.
The doctor told me in 1990, I got shot in 1990 on a robbery. The bullet made a U in my, it hit this vein on the back of your leg, on the back of your knee, and did a U in my leg. I had to have reconstructive surgery. The doctor used to take a lighter and put it on the bottom of my feet, because I didn't have no feeling in it. I still got the black marks on my feet right now. They don't stink, baby. They pretty too.
Oh my God.
Hey man,
He done put his damn feet up here.
but you see the spots.
Right, right.
And he used to say, Mr. William, do you feel it? No. This went on for a whole year, man. He told my mama one day, he said, well, Miss William, we're going to have to cut his leg off and amputate him. We're going to have to amputate him again. But they sent me to the prosthetic clinic, all that shit. I looked at the doctor. My mama said, well, what you want to do? I said, I'm going to drag this motherfucker around. Cause I ain't gonna let him cut it off. Hey man, they gave me a brace to put in my shoe, to wear in my shoe to keep my legs straight. I don't have no feeling in it, no one. 6 months later, my feet were just like this, cause that nerve in there was what make your feet come up and down, everything. Hey man, I put my feet down, my toe on the ground. I went through that for 6 months. My brother, God rest his soul, took my crutches one day. He said, hey man, your ass gonna put your feet down. You gonna walk. He said, now you want these crutches, come and get them. I called them all kind of little Popeye motherfuckers. You understand what I'm saying? Because I had bought into it.
Right.
Hey man, that man took my crutches and took them probably 2 football fields away from me and stood them up on the wall, man, and left them. I got up, man, and hopped on one leg all the way to them damn crutches.
Wow.
You understand?
Right.
Long story short, about the 8th, 9th month, my feet were going flat on the ground. After about a year, I was trying. Still ain't got all the feeling in my leg, but I can feel pressure.
Right, right.
All right? Hey man, I went back to the doctor on my visit. I went to the doctor. The doctor looked at me and said, what the hell are you doing? I said, shit, doc, I'm just put it on the ground and trying to work it out. He said, well, we ain't got to amputate it now. No shit. My doctor told me, God is my witness. He said, man, whatever you doing,
Keep doing it.
keep doing it. Every night, man, my mama used to get I don't know if y'all know about it, but they had this Pompino oil. All right? She used to take that oil, rub it in her hands, and she used to rub my
I remember
leg
that oil.
every night, man, with that oil.
Old people used to
You
do
understand what I'm saying?
I think it stink.
Hey man, I could be laying in the bed and my arterial nerve hit. I'm talking about it was like somebody just take my leg and just pull it.
Right.
Spin my leg right out the bed. Boom.
Right.
My mama say, you all right, boy? Yeah, I'm all right.
All right.
Gotta get my ass on the floor. All right. Hey man, let me tell you something. The doctor told me it was gonna take at least 10 to 15 years before I start getting feeling back in my leg. I got feeling everywhere but on the side of my calf now. All right?
Right. But it's there though, hey.
Mindset.
Right. And I
Yeah.
get, see,
Yeah.
I had 3 major surgeries.
right.
3 major surgeries. And out of all 3 other surgeries I had 3 life-threatening surgeries. Out of all 3 other surgeries I had, the surgeon never told me not one time that I was hypertensive. They were trying to figure out how in the hell did you have 3 major surgeries and every surgery you had, your blood pressure was too high for you to have that surgery.
Here's the flip side to what you're saying, and when it comes to mental health. The flip side with your situation, if they had medicine that could have had you back walking in 6 months, and you would not have had to struggle through that, what, year and a half, 2 years, it seemed like, or maybe even longer. Do you go through the struggle and doing it through your own because you have the mindset, like, I'm going to do it, or you going to take the medicine and get well within 3 to 6 months? So, hold on, let me finish. What? So, like, even with my situation, before we even talked about mental health, I kind of threw my business out there, and it's not something I'm used to even talking about. I said for the first time, I've never had mental issues. I've been in gifted programs. I skipped 7th grade, 2 bachelors, 2 masters, never had a mental issue or whatever. And didn't think I had nothing wrong with me. Did not think nothing was wrong with me. My doctor, a white woman, she kept telling me for the last few years, you need to talk to somebody. You need to talk. In my head, I used to go back home and curse ass out like, well, why the fuck she keeps saying something wrong with me? I need to go talk to somebody. You here just as my medical doctor, So she's like, would you see somebody? I went to see somebody. I sat in the room for a whole hour and didn't say shit. Like, I didn't say not one motherfucking word.
You emotionally distorted.
And so they eventually like, okay, would you like just try? And months they was getting me, I would go get it and I just threw it in the drawer. I wasn't trying it. I finally started to try and I was like, oh my God. Something was wrong with me because I feel much better now. I was like, I'm jamming the music.
That is so true.
You were down in the dumps, man, because, like y'all say, you had went through something.
Right. Traumatic experience.
You had went through something, but that don't make you mentally challenged.
Right.
But what
that don't. Hey man, you got to overcome anything.
But Big Jeff, there is a thing though.
How many times you don't been in love in life?
Oh yeah, that mess don't count because I don't even know.
Nothing but the truth. How many times you don't been in love?
I would say, honestly, that when I realized what it was for real, or when I thought I was in love.
Either or.
Whichever.
For real, for real.
Either or. If you thought it, you felt it. Ain't no way around that. If you thought it, you felt it.
I would probably say maybe 2 or 3 times.
Okay. Did you have to take medication to get your mind back right? To let it go? No.
But there are some people that do.
That's true.
And I get
people,
that.
They need that Xanax.
My point is
to get to sleep, because otherwise they just crying themselves to sleep.
But that's an excuse.
You may have to do a coping,
that you use to make yourself feel better.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
But if you get yourself together.
But
sometimes
you got
there's
a chemical imbalance with ADHD. There's a true. Let me tell you my experience, okay? I'm one of the.
Slow them down in school.
No, listen. I'm one of the ones.
LPE.
See, this is how my grandparents were. Like my family was like him. Okay, they telling me the school. Let me tell you what happened to me. Right. This is how I got into the legal field. I've been a paralegal for the last 16 years in the federal government.
But you were mentally challenged.
But let me tell you how I got to be. No, I'm not. I don't have mental health. Let me tell you, my child has mental health, but I got into being the legal field and I became a paralegal, all leading from what I had to go through with my son. And the school took me to court. Okay, to juvenile court. Way, like you said, it started as a child, way back when. And I'm one of the ones before I started being an activist, I was very, very private, I wouldn't say shy. I'm just very antisocial. I don't care about friends. I don't care about, you don't see me hang with a lot of females now. I've never been like that. I don't care about cliques and pics and all that mess. I don't care who don't like me. I'm the type of person. So I've never so long story short, the school took me to court, okay? The teachers was trying to force me to medicate my son. I fought that by myself. Like you said, you got to figure out how to look up and Google stuff. My son's grandmother, God rest her soul, I love her so much. Her name was Dr. Patricia Koopman. She was the special ed director in Gwinnett. She was the superintendent. She was a superintendent. So when her grandchild, which was my son, they trying to take me to court to say he got special needs. She like, whoop, hold on, Shanita. She come way to my county to assist us, and now I'm having to learn about special ed laws because I'm in court now. They're taking me to juvenile court. They're trying to make me put my son on medication, and I don't want to because I'm listening to my family saying the stuff that you telling me. Like, nah, he don't need no medication. What you talking about? Whoop his ass. Take it, girl. If you don't do this, do that. Change his diet. So I did that. I done did the fruits. I done did the vegetables. I done did all that. So I goes to court. I go to this juvenile court, and this judge is like, what have you done to try to help? He's having all these behavior issues. The school is saying he got this. He's very hyper. He's extremely smart. Extremely smart. I like, well, I changed his diet. He's in sports. She said, wait, she's doing all she could do. You know what I ended up having to do? I took him to 3 different psychologists. I didn't tell them anything about the other ones, okay? Yeah. They gave him their own different battery of tests, and he scored ADHD off the charts on every last one. Every last one of them say he was the worst case of ADHD that they've ever seen, ever. So, long story short, we went through this whole process. They didn't make me. The judge didn't force me to medicate him. But in the long run, I ended up buying into it, but it ended up helping him. I could tell.
I get that. It did. That's my point, and that's the point I'm making. Now,
Jerome, school teacher over there, he looked like he wanted to add something in.
But see, if
school
it's
teacher.
there, if it's there, if the
But it's
signs are
there. But I tried to not make it be there because my family was telling me, like, no, he don't need that.
I'm
Whoop
talking
his
about a person
ass.
going through their whole life, ain't showing no signs, no
Yeah,
nothing.
I get what you're saying,
And then
though.
all of a sudden somebody say, man, you mentally throw.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, you throw it off, bro. No, that ain't. It's something else, man, going on with that. You understand? But if they can give you medication, my point is, they can give you medication, man, that can make your ass hallucinate. And you will begin to think something wrong with you. Right. And if you take it for so long, it will make something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than being diagnosed for any other illness. You can be forced to believe that this is actually what's going on.
And it's not misdiagnosed, right? And
It's
that happens.
Because a doctor saying, you know, how many times you went to the doctor? This is what I tell my kids and their mothers sometimes. How many people you know, man, and I hope this makes sense to everybody. How many people you know sitting in this room right now more than 6 of us? Which one of us gonna go to a doctor? And when the doctor asks us all of our medical issues, we gonna give them
every last one.
Nothing but the truth.
Right.
I do.
We gonna give them nothing
I
but the
don't.
truth.
I ain't even gonna lie, I don't.
I do.
Cause I don't feel like saying that all
I
day.
do.
Each
Like
shit
how much
already
you
have
drink
it.
from the
They got my
beginning.
chart now.
Like just one shot
Everything
of
is
it.
in my chart.
How can you tell somebody something you don't know?
Everything that I
You know what's
personally
wrong
know.
with you by going to the doctor, but you
Yeah.
don't know what's wrong with you. Nobody knows what's actually wrong with them. You can only
I
speak
know how I
on what you feel. Thank you.
Yeah.
But that don't make the diagnosis that the doctor give you the truth. How many people you done seen go to the doctor for a goddamn for a scar and wind up getting their leg cut off?
That does happen too.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
During
nobody
COVID,
actually
they wanted to put my dad
nobody actually knows
on the what you call it,
condition they
the
in.
oxygen.
You understand?
Yeah.
So if you go to the doctor, if you
And he
went to
didn't
the
need
doctor, if you went to the doctor right now, and
Right.
the doctor said, well, okay, so if you say you having issue or you feel like you got a rash or something, how many people you don't have sex with? You gonna say 1?
No, I'm gonna tell him the truth.
How many you gonna say?
We're not at the doctor's office right now, okay? I'll tell the doctor. Look, I'll tell the doctor, I ain't telling you.
Miss Sylvia said TMI.
Hey, so, but what I'm saying is, and then they say, well, how many of your partners have you been active with in the last year or 5 years? Why we gotta go back that damn far?
Right.
What about yesterday?
Right.
What about this morning? I might have woke up in this morning.
Right.
You understand? When was the last time you, hey man, listen, if I need to give you all this information, I can diagnose my damn
Myself.
self. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they just going off of what we
What
tell
you
them.
say, right? That's
You
true.
understand
That's
what I'm
true.
saying?
Yeah.
You know, and then 6 months later you find out
It was something
you got a
else.
cancer load.
Yeah.
But, they
But
been
there's
telling you
but
it's a
today
cyst.
there is a lot
been telling
that's
you it's this.
that's science driven. You
Yeah.
know, with the battery of blood tests,
Mm-hmm.
you know, MRI, it's
Yeah, now-
science based. You
That's
know,
it.
for I
you
would
know,
say a
we
good
ain't gonna
portion
never
of
say
things.
exactly everything that's going on with us, cause we don't know. We just know what we telling you
What we feel.
now,
Right.
or what you know. If it was that easy, you know, and I said this to my doctor one time. If it was that easy, why would you ask me about my parental history? Why would you ask me, is it in my family? No, Dad know what the hell I'm talking to you about right there. Ain't got nothing to do with my mama. It ain't got nothing to do with my daddy. My mom and my daddy might have lived a healthy life. I'm the one sick. So Dad knows me, man.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and I'm not debating the doctors.
Because they try to say it's like a predictor if
it's-
your parent had
the
it
only
or.
thing they can do is
Yeah.
make an assumption
Yeah.
on what might be going on with us.
That's true.
But we be the one feed into it. You understand? Because they give, hey man, I gotta go get my prescription. He done gave you 10 prescriptions because he couldn't diagnose what the hell was going on with you. So he give you some for everything, and for every drug that a doctor give you,
There's a side
it's a
effect.
counter for it.
Yep, side effect. Yeah.
Right.
You understand? Because all of them have side effects, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna give you this Coumadin medicine
Right.
for your hypertension medicine,
Right.
so that your blood won't clot up.
But then it's messing
Well,
up your
goddamn.
kidneys, right?
But it gonna
Messing
kill
up your kidneys, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey man, what I need to take medication for?
Right.
My body self heals.
Take too much
It's
antibiotic, you
supposed to.
get a
My
yeast
body
infection,
self-heals.
right? So right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
So I feel like my aunt, I don't have to take medication. My body self heals.
It's supposed to.
Not
though.
really.
Yeah.
Your
I
body's
really take
supposed to
medicine.
self heal.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You can't tell me I got corona, and just because I isolate myself for 14 days,
It's gonna
that
go
make the
away.
shit go away. Are you serious? Come on, man. Come on now. And then I go back to the doctor 6 months from now and got a cold, and you say, oh, you got corona again. Well, I thought y'all said you couldn't catch it but one time.
I caught it twice. They say.
You know,
They say.
that make sense. Now, here you is 4 years later, after the corona epidemic, and you tell me I got it again.
Doggone.
Well, damn.
You never left.
you know what really happened? Now you give me these diagnoses because this is in my record.
It's in
This
your
is
record.
it's no different than being in trial.
Right.
And a motherfucker say, we prosecute you off of your record.
Yeah.
No, prosecute off my goddamn case that I got.
Right.
Doctors do the same thing, man. They do the same thing. They go off of your history. If your history say you had an STD 10 years ago, your ass got an STD now when you say something going on now.
I'm itching. Oh, that's funny.
They're using it against you.
Dog,
Hey,
damn.
man.
Using everything you say against you.
That's what they doing.
That does happen.
That's
That
why
does
you have to
happen.
answer them
I don't
questions.
disagree.
Why should you have to go to the hospital and fill out a medical report every time you go? I ain't here for what I was here for last time.
I know that's right.
I'm here for something different, bro.
Yeah.
That help you diagnose me?
Right.
No, I'm just gonna go home, get me some lemon, some tea, drink me a little oil, pour me a little vinegar in it or something, and shit, I let it go on that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Let me tell you something, man, what we better start realizing. Back in the 17, 18s, and early 1900s, we didn't have medication. We had old folks' remedies.
Yeah, that's so true.
Work far better than this medication do.
It's a pharmacy,
You understand?
a business.
I
like you
just
said,
made me some. I just made me some asphylic. If y'all know what that is.
Pharmaceutical. What?
Huh?
What's some what?
Well, that's the nastiest shit in the world you can
What
drink.
is it?
It get rid of everything.
What
But
you
what
say?
is it?
It's a mixture. It's a mixture of. My
They have it
mom
in
used to
pill
make it
form.
with vinegar. She used to get some garlic. She used to get lemon. She used to get some
Honey.
liquor and some honey. Mix it up in a bottle and just let it sit for a week or two.
Yeah, everybody that
That's
grandma
like a
used
hot
to do
toddy.
that. Yeah, everybody
And
grandma.
then your ass drink it, boy, that shit smell, that shit stink. Look, man, the shit stinks so bad, that would cure you. The smell. But get what? They gave it to the babies when they started teething. When a baby had an ear infection, you can give it to them for that. Baby had a cold, you can get, hey, man, we don't need no medicine. We don't need no pills.
Yeah.
That be for real. Hey, man, they didn't have that back then. You know what I'm saying? You know, let me tell you something. We gotta stop being, you know, I ain't saying stop it, I'm just saying certain things our doctors tell us, we gotta start using our own judgment sometimes.
Right. Yeah, common sense.
You understand? Cause some of this shit is just common sense, man.
The comments say, yeah,
You know
that's
what I'm
so
saying?
nasty.
You know, you gonna keep on diagnosing me for something that you told me I couldn't get but one time in life.
Right.
How I done got it 4 times, man? Something ain't right about that picture, bro. But now, look at the narrative. The first time, you have to be confined for 14 days.
Right.
The second time, 9 days. The third time, 5 days. The fourth time, 3 days. Now they say you can catch corona still and go back out door right then.
Right. Go back to work.
Yeah, I'm gonna read some comments too while you talking.
That be for real, man.
CMT 2013SS says Vicks on everything. That's right. We have Old Angel Baby. Oh yeah, those old folks remedies work.
Right, they work.
Yeah, they
I
work.
still use them right to this day, man. I don't get sick like that. Ain't never
Khadijah
bought
G,
into
so
corona.
true.
None of that. Ain't never bought into corona. Ain't never believed it. Listen, man.
Bertha.
First of all, tell me how I can catch corona. Tell me how I can catch it.
Bertha Howard say they can't diagnose corona from a cold.
Thank you. They said it went airborne. When it first came out, they said some folks was on a damn cruise and somebody touched the rail and all this old shit and it passed like that. That's airborne.
Right.
That means something landed on it, didn't it?
Something.
It's airborne.
Right.
So, you know, but it's not airborne. So how do we catch it? You tell me to stand, you put us on a line and say, stand 6 feet apart. That's right here and right there. Are you damn serious? But you tell me if I sneeze, that shit can go all the way over there to you. Hey, man. That make it make sense, dog. You understand? That's just how I think.
Right.
This is my opinion. This is how
So
I
you're
think.
gonna like the JFK guy that's being appointed by
do.
Trump as
I do.
what over
Man,
the
I
medicine?
like everything
I
Trump
do.
done put in his cabinet. Other
Cause
than
he
me,
want to
man,
get,
I'm
he
trying
want to
put
get
in
the
cabinet.
like the, he want to do more natural things
Right,
and get
yeah.
the dyes out the
Right,
food and stuff.
yeah,
I like some of his, yeah, I
Hey,
do.
man, back in
I
the
do.
80s, for those of y'all who ain't old enough to know this, back in the 80s, they had diagnosed one of the most prominent basketball players in the world.
Tamar Jackson.
for
Mine.
HIV.
Magic Johnson.
For HIV.
That's true.
They said this man had slept with over 2,000 women. And he tested positive for HIV. Everybody bought into it. Everybody started sending money to the foundations, all type of shit. This man had a wife. They say never contracted
it.
HIV. None of his children, nothing. Then all of a sudden, a couple of years later, they said, he ain't got it neither. No more.
Yeah, I heard.
That's what they said. They did.
I didn't hear that he didn't have
You
it
understand
anymore.
what I'm
I
saying?
just thought maybe, you
No,
know
they
how
say he
No,
don't
they
have
say he
it,
doesn't
period.
have it.
No
he
more.
doesn't have it. It just disappeared.
He was the face of it, man, because when it first came out, nobody supported it.
Right.
When
Easy
HIV
E,
first
then
came
he
out,
died
no,
of AIDS,
Easy
too.
That's what
E
they
died
said. That's
from
what they said.
Right.
They say.
Yeah, that's what they
You
said.
feel what I'm saying? So, but now, they also told us this. They said there's a doctor over in Africa that has the cure for it.
Yeah.
And said he would never sell it to the United States.
That's why it's.
That's what they say about Dr. Sebi in Honduras too.
How come we ain't do like we do everybody else and go over there and take it?
Because about the money, they get paid so much money.
Shit, everybody else went and took that shit. Why we ain't gonna take it? Because we don't want to cure it.
Right.
It's money.
Yeah.
Money making.
Yep.
It's money,
Just like
man.
cancer.
Yeah.
Cancer's money.
You
Tammy
understand?
Lewis say, I never believed that story.
You know, it's money, man. So, you know, we gotta start thinking logically on a lot of things, man. That's why, you know, everybody bashing Trump. Trump on
CC22
this
said they
and
killed
Trump on that. Hey, man, Trump can't run the United States by himself.
Right, he got to get a
He got
team.
people over him.
Yeah. But I like that man's idea. I like his idea of
okay.
taking
He got people out there
okay.
too, man. So
Yeah, I like
let
it.
him
I
be
saw
the,
him in
let him be the
person.
president.
Yeah.
Let him be the president and let him do what he do. Handle business.
Yeah,
What you think he's gonna do the funny?
Because
What
I
you
feel
think he's
like
gonna do the funny? You think Funny's gonna drop his charges
Laugh
now?
at him. He gonna laugh at it.
He
He
not
ain't
gonna-
funny.
But
He
she,
gonna laugh
isn't
at
he
it.
gonna go after her for the money, mismanagement of the money?
I think he gonna do
G-
something.
DOJ?
I can't wait to
I
see
don't even
what's
want
gonna
to
See,
happen.
New York dropped his charges.
Yeah, I don't even want to discuss that, man, because
Jack Smith?
he's the former president of the United States, man. Ain't nothing gonna happen to him.
No, I'm talking about with her.
Right. 'cause
Isn't
she,
he gonna
But
go?
my thing is this: even if you prosecute him and win, just like they won with the 34 charges they
Ain't
gave,
gonna happen. Right.
where you gonna put him?
Right.
You can't. You gotta
He
bring
the
the
president.
You gotta bring the Secret Service and all
Thank you.
that. with it.
He's protected by the Secret Service for the
Trying to
rest of his life.
just
You
'cause-
can't house them.
And even though the last judge dropped the charges without prejudice, and like they was like, oh, well, she did it without prejudice, it's still indefinite. You're not gonna. They acting like that's still not a win. That's still a win. Like, come on, y'all can kill that acting like that.
I don't know where they done
That's
came-
not a win.
I don't
That's
know
still a
where that
win.
accolade that done came from all of a sudden.
Right.
Dismissed without prejudice. Right. What? Hey, man, a trial can't be nothing but prejudice.
Right.
You got some people who don't know you trying to convict you. That's prejudice. Shit. How can that be other than prejudice?
I guess what they're trying to say is like, this is what they're
Come
trying
on,
to say.
man, love.
They're trying to say. Please don't.
I like
no,
Adrian
no,
Love,
please
y'all.
don't. Please don't. No,
mess with
I'm
Adrian.
only the Shanita. That's it. No Miss Love up in here. But
I got love for her.
what they're saying is that since she did it without prejudice, she can bring it back again later. That's what they're trying to say. They're trying to. That's what they're trying to say. Like, oh, that's not a victory. In who book? In your book?
That's a victory.
That's a victory to me. I don't care what you say.
They said that in our case. If I would all of them kids, I would have took it.
Okay. I would.
Because ain't no way they gonna prosecute that case again. No way. No kind of way whatsoever, man.
Yeah.
Who gonna pay for it this time? Because the taxpayer bucket.
Okay.
Everybody gonna buck on that, man. You
And
know
then-
what I'm saying? So, you know, like I say, man, we gotta start being mindful to certain things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's everyday life. It ain't about politics. It ain't about the judicial system. It's everyday life, man.
That case but that
You know what I'm saying?
thug case, that's gonna change the world. I mean,
It
there was
already
so much
changed the
stuff
world.
that has happened.
It changed the world, but it didn't help nobody.
Even now, though, it is
didn't
though.
help.
It is.
It's not gonna help.
It is
It's
though.
gonna hurt people
It's
because
gonna
now
hurt more than it help.
when
You
they get
think it's
another
gonna
RICO
hurt
charge,
people?
yes.
Yeah.
Because they get another RICO case, they know the ins and outs. They can write a book
This
on
was
how
a
to
practice
prosecute a
run for them.
RICO.
This was a practice run for
Exactly.
them, man.
So next time they're gonna know how to run the plays
Thank you.
without
This was a
the
practice.
fumbles and the mistakes and
Then you shouldn't do. You also the people that they see what they doing. They see how they trying to label. You know what I'm
What
saying?
we as a people need to do is, we need to protest to get that law back out of our system.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
We need to make them take it back out of our system because we can't fight a RICO anyway, especially on gang charges. Because I'll say this till the day I die. Until we get gang attorneys in the state of Georgia, you ain't gonna never be able to fight a gang charge because we're not a gang-related state. Never have been. So how we gonna let somebody come here and induct it into our system without us having the proper people in place to handle it? That don't make sense.
Blue Sky said, "I wouldn't raise my black child in Fulton County."
Don't make sense, man. You know how
I
you
think
do
it's
that?
Georgia, period.
I raised my children in Fulton County. The county ain't got nothing to do with how you raise your child.
But it's the people that's running the county.
But guess what? If you can keep your child on the straight path, you ain't never got to worry about that. We got to stop people from allowing our children to put themselves in those positions by standing up with our kids.
Right.
That's true.
They got to know somebody care, man. The system feel like we don't. I tell you what, everybody meet me down at the Juvenile Justice Center come Monday morning and see how many children going to court in there. You understand? We got alternative schools. These folks are sending our kids to alternative schools. Those schools are ran like the prison system. You got to work your way back out of it to go back to your public school. Where that makes sense at? A suspension is a suspension. How can a child have a food fight in the cafeteria, and because they got a disciplinary write-up in they record, they have to go sit in front of 3 people, just like I'm saying, that don't know nothing about them,
Right.
and go off of what a teacher, who's also considered a police, and have a strong defense. How? How they gonna have a strong defense? When you got 3 people sitting across from your child, and you got a teacher sitting here saying that this child has a behavior issue, this, that, and the third, and them 3 people gonna go against it.
And
That's a judge.
Yeah.
That's the judge and the jury.
Yeah. And then with those tribunals, they have
Your child don't have a chance.
they don't have a chance. They have their comrades from different counties that they already intermingle with to rule in their favor. It's a setup.
It's already against them.
Yeah.
The deck already
It's a
stacked.
setup.
It's already stacked, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now you got all of these disobedient kids, as they say, in the school together, but you don't have no authority in the school.
Right.
You think they're gonna complete that program? No. If they be allowed to return back to their school, their home school, it's gonna be out of them just saying, okay, we want to get them back out of here now.
Right.
So they're gonna say, we're gonna allow you to go. If you be good for a week, we're gonna allow you to go back to your school. But he's been there 2 years. Really? That make sense.
just like in South Carolina, they have a program where if it's not by race, but a lot of the black boys, because when I lived in South Carolina, a lot of the black boys that were charged with felonies in the courtroom would be offered an alternative to going to the military. We don't have that here in Georgia, and I thought that was an awesome, excellent program to divert from them having a criminal record. You want to go into the military, you want to fight, sign your tail up.
Right. But you know what I'll do?
We don't have those type programs.
You know
in
what
Georgia.
type of program I want to start? I've been trying to start in Fulton County, well, in Atlanta, period.
Mm-hmm.
A disciplinary program that allows these kids to be mandatorily sent to a trade school or some type of program that's gonna make them a citizen of the United States as a worker.
Like that.
You understand? So me
what's the
myself,
program
my
they got?
alternative for that is put them in corporate America by putting them in position. And the best way that I see you can put these kids in position is to send them to Job Corps. Send them somewhere where they can get education along with a trade.
Yeah, but they stopped. And
So now
Job
they can
Corps is
help
good.
themselves.
Yeah, but they stopped Job Corps at 23 years old. I
No,
think that should
26.
be. Oh, 26 now?
They
Oh,
took it up to
24.
26.
24.
Oh, it's down to 24 now? Oh, so they took it down 2 years. Because
Yeah.
it was 26.
Yeah.
But either or.
I think it should
They
be
got a
increased
chance.
a little bit higher too,
No.
and then they get a stipend with it, a place to stay.
Yeah.
I think Job
That's
Corps
how it works.
should
That's
be
how it works.
extended.
But
I like that.
But see, at the same time, you can also get an extension
Oh,
as
I
long
didn't
as
know.
you're doing right. Yeah.
Okay.
I was in Job Corps with a cat. When he left Job Corps, he had every trade we had. He went in at 14. He had a lady to sign him up, and she said that he was old enough to go to Job Corps. He had been in Job Corps 4 years before they realized he was underage.
Oh, man.
But he had done so good, they couldn't kick him out.
Right.
When he left Job Corps, he had every trade that they had to offer. You understand? When that man came home, he came home with his paperwork saying he wasn't to be paid under $150 an hour, and it was in 1983.
Oh, wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
You standing on business. That's standing on business
when all
right
of us
there.
came home, man, we came home with paperwork saying that we wanted to be paid under $150 an hour. And it was in 80s. I came home in 85. Could have went to LA and took a job. Just running a damn performance analyzer machine, which is the same machine now that you can buy from the parts store and plug into your damn car.
As you went to LA, you probably would have ran into Fonnie Willis a little bit sooner in life.
Yeah, she was in the ILF gang. I wouldn't never see her. I'm not gang related. Anyway.
Drop the complete mic.
Those are the see,
He's
that's
not
a
gang
program-
related.
That's a program that we should be trying to enforce.
Yeah, I like
If
Job
these
Corps.
kids don't want to go to school, man, send them somewhere where they can be made responsible.
Exactly.
And it'll
Or
help
have more
instead of
performing
hurting.
art school. We don't have a lot down
You know
here.
what I'm
We got
saying?
that Ron Clark Academy. That's a good school, but they
But
very
see, we're
strict on
not equipped for that.
admissions, right?
We're not
Yeah, they're
equipped for
super
that.
strict.
Now,
Right.
now we equipped for it because we got generals of all kind now. Back then we didn't have that. See, now you can put a performing arts school here because you got performing arts clubs here now. You understand what I'm saying?
But what happened to Job Corps? Do we still have them? I don't hear of them
There's
anymore.
106 job corps, man, throughout
still
the
around.
United States.
I don't hear much about
I don't
it.
hear about them
No,
anymore.
what happened, some of them got closed up because of the company they were keeping. But that was way back when. Now what they have did, they have made the Job Corps co-ed. Some, you know, you used to have Job Corps like the one in Westlake. It was all female. But men can go to it, you just couldn't stay there because it was all female.
Oh yeah, it was like
so, you know, but as a male, you can go there, go to school during the day, but you had to leave. You couldn't stay.
Yeah.
So, you know, they still exist. They still exist. Let me tell you something, man. That's the best.
They need to have Job Corps for formerly incarcerated people.
That's the best thing
with
that
no
could
age
have
limit.
happened to me.
That should happen.
You understand what I'm saying? You know, because I was one of those delinquent people. Yeah, I went. Hey, proud that I went.
I know that's right.
I wanted to go.
I like it.
I wanted to go.
You understand?
I didn't know about it till
Proud
I was
that
too old.
But see, let me let y'all know how Job Corps work. Job Corps is not for bad people like everybody was made to believe.
Right.
It's not for bad people. You got some people in Job Corps, man, that done graduated high school. They just couldn't. College just wasn't for them, or they couldn't go to college. So if you go to Job Corps and you have a high school diploma, you can do what they call all-day trade. Meaning you can take 2 trades at one time. The longest running trades in Job Corps is auto service mechanic and welding. That's it. Everything else, 6 months, 9 months you certified, back at home on somebody's job.
Wow.
So you can send your child there for 1 year, and
We
your child
definitely
can
need
come
that.
back home and make a difference.
Yeah.
When I was in there, man, when you came home, if say I took a job in Atlanta, they got your housing. They gave you 6 months of free living.
Oh wow.
We need that for
And they made it to where your living quarters, wherever apartment they had for you, it was within a mile of where you worked at.
Wow.
So therefore,
You
if your
can get
ass
to
can't
work.
catch the bus, you can walk.
Right.
Cause you used to that in Job Corps.
Right.
You ain't have to walk all around it.
Right.
Now, then you get like they gave you like what we used to call
Stipend?
no, we used to call it damn, what was the name? But anyway, for every month you in Job Corps, they save money for you.
Yeah, that's a stipend.
You know, but they called it something
Allowance.
else. No, they called it something else when you left. When you left, they send you the money.
Oh.
After you leave, the money
check.
that they save for you, 30 days
check.
after you,
Check.
30 to 60 days.
graduation
after you
check.
leave, they send you your money.
Oh, okay.
All right, and what it was like, say you stayed 2 years, it was $2,400.
A month?
No, they sent you $2,400.
Just like a lump
When
sum.
you got out,
Right.
they sent you a check for $2,400.
Yeah.
However long you stayed and finished your trade, that's how the money went.
Was it
Okay.
per diem?
Like it's like $100 a month.
Yeah.
Was it per diem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, but they gave you clothing coupons
Allowance.
to where you can go buy your clothes, and you got paid every 2 weeks.
And they fed you.
Yeah, you
And
went
they
from
fed you. Yeah.
you went from $10
We need that.
coming in, and if you stayed the whole 2 years, you were getting like $47 every 2 weeks, which is a lot of money. in Job
Right.
Corps then. So I don't know what it is. Saying now it's done got even better because you can move off campus now in Job Corps and get your own apartment. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have to live on campus no more. So it's a big plus for the kids. It's just nobody's taking the notion to put it in play for them.
Right.
Make that part of a disciplinary action
Right.
instead
I know,
of sending them
that's
to a
right.
damn jail.
Exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
if you send them there and they don't complete, then they'll lock their ass up.
Right.
Right.
We don't have enough
But at least
alternatives
give
to
'em an
prison,
alternative,
alternative to
Thank you.
jails. We don't have enough alternatives.
Do you think they need to rebuild the Fulton County Jail?
Hell yeah.
Or-
Yeah, but what he's saying, what I agree with, is that we need to have alternatives to
Right.
prison. We need to have alternatives to jail.
Hey man, when you building prisons instead of schools, that's a problem.
Right.
That's a problem. You know, okay. You know, that's a problem. So, you know, And these are the things. This, like I say, this is one reason why I brought this show into play, because the people need to hear the stories, man.
Right.
You understand? They need to hear these stories.
They do.
Cause some people really have the wrong impression of a lot of things that can help their kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I would rather see a child go to job corps than to go to jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, send them somewhere that can benefit them, that can help them,
Right.
and make it mandatory.
How does the diversion program work? Like for first offenders, is that a good program?
Nah,
I don't think so.
Okay.
I haven't seen.
it's not.
nobody-
It's not a good pro. It's a.
I mean,
a
it's
good.
good to not correct your
plea.
record.
It's
like,
a
you
deal.
know,
It's a deal as far as if you're a person who ain't planning on getting in trouble no more.
again, right?
Okay.
Because the thing is, man, they didn't, you know, the reason a lot of people were taking that first offender, man, was because they really weren't upholding it. If they would have ever upheld it, it probably would have happened with 2 or 3 people. And
I
when
think
nobody
it's
took
good
it no
though,
more.
especially like for your situation. You're the
Right.
type of person that don't normally.
No, but see, the first offender is this, Mom. You agreeing to take up to 35 years in prison if you be violated. What the damn advantage is that right now?
That's not everybody.
No, I'm saying if they upholding it. I'm saying if they upholding it, if they was upholding it like it's supposed to be upheld,
That's what yours was.
that's what everybody's is. First offender, you better read it. The first offender, when you take the first offender, man, if you violate, they can give you up until however many years you supposed to get.
Wow.
Now, in say certain people cases, if they say, well, okay, we since he want to do this and that and other, then what we gonna do to him? And use him for example. He's suing them. This man go out here and spit on the ground. They can hold the first offender act against him. What advantage is that right there?
All right. Yeah.
That's
They
a
definitely
question
gonna be gunning
and
for
that's a
them.
question
Thank
I want to ask.
you understand
Courtney,
what I'm
too.
saying? They
You know
can,
what?
they
I
can.
gotta write that down. I
Listen,
gotta
we
ask
just
Courtney
seen
that
them
question.
take anything to try to prosecute some people with it, and ain't got proof of nothing.
Right.
Who you think gonna last that long, man? If they can't afford to,
Right.
you dead. You dead, man. Shit.
Right.
Read that first offender and see what it say. Shit. Man, hell no. That ain't no plus for nobody, man. That's you know, they make it sound good because they call it first offender.
Right.
But your ass better read it and see what all come with it.
Right.
They say what they say the narrative of it when you taking it. But nah, read it. Shit, they can give you up to 35 years, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I
On
don't
a
know that much
violation.
about it then. I didn't know that.
Shit. That ain't no plug, that ain't no benefit. No different than the pleas they making up on these cats in that trial. I ain't never seen where somebody make up a plea. Pleas are already established.
Right.
How you add shit to the plea?
They can do what they want.
They
to.
was trying to
Nobody
get a
don't never say
conviction.
that.
How your plea go from 2 sheets of paper to 20?
The same way you can just wait to the end of this trial to introduce some phone records that just got introduced. Like, how you go a whole trial,
Thank you.
all these pleas, and you trying to introduce something at this point in the game?
That's how I go.
How y'all think it's gonna go Monday? Think the jury gonna be back?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they'll be
they'll
back.
be back.
Yeah, they'll be back. It gonna be all right. They gonna be all right. You know, you know,
Like, all right, like they'll be able to walk out.
If they
Sure,
found not
on Monday.
guilty, yeah. If they're found not guilty, yeah. And that's what we hoping for.
Will y'all be there? Y'all coming down?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Try to make it. Try to make it through.
Definitely. It's definitely.
You know, so It's crazy, man, how they got the laws set up to hurt you at all costs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't have a win. The only win you got is a dismissal. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't really too tough helpful.
Or a hung jury. I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
But to me, even if the charges are dismissed and they're found not guilty, you can't buy back all this time they just been sitting there missing holidays, birthdays, funerals. The sister died while he was,
Thank you.
you know,
Thank you.
like who gonna pay back that time? Like it's still a loss. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Had two relatives die the week before he got out.
Oh wow.
I buried my uncle and my cousin
Oh wow. Yeah.
the week of him getting out, man. So you know, it is. But see, what people got to understand is, it can happen to you too now.
Mm-hmm. At
It can
any
be your
time.
loved one too now.
Yep, at any time.
So her daughter got arrested. Okay,
I wonder what's happening with that. I haven't heard nobody speak about it.
you ain't gonna hear it. You ain't gonna hear it, man. You know what I mean? So, but that's a horse of another color. You know what I mean? They right now, man, they playing their game. You know what I mean? But one thing you can best believe, as our ancestors used to say, God don't like ugly and don't like something pretty. Shit. So, you know what I'm saying?
I ain't heard that one.
It is what
You
it
ain't
is.
heard that?
Nah, that's
Oh
a new
my,
one.
you're not from Georgia. You say you're from Chicago. Guess that's a Georgia thing, a Southern.
So man, but I just don't, mental health to me, man, that's something that really gotta
We
be.
disagree on that,
It really gotta be already there.
but that's true.
Cause you can work out any situation, man. You know
And
what I'm
even
saying?
if it's already there, you still can work it out.
You
too.
can work it out,
Yeah.
but you can't. I don't like how they how some of these doctors try to make you buy into an illness.
Right.
Yeah, and
You
they
feel
do
what I'm
that too,
saying?
though, for real.
And doctors are like I told my children and their mothers, doctors are like lawyers to me. People
so?
trust their doctors like they do
Okay,
their
yeah.
lawyers.
Yeah.
So the doctor said that's the gospel for some people. Cause they don't know no better, man, and you can't be mad with them.
Right.
Cause they believe in what the doctor say.
Right.
Craig Collins say, I agree 100. Blacks need to reunite. We need to find qualified candidates for office and everybody support them like Chicago Mayor
That's it.
Harold Washington.
Antonio Lewis needs support of the people in this city. If Antonio Lewis has support,
He don't.
he can move some mountains, man. I'm telling you, man. Listen,
Me and
listen.
Antonio, we're not fans of
No,
each other.
but guess what?
Antonio is good.
I raised him.
You just got to have a
Only
talk
issue-
with him.
The only
He
issue I
good.
think this kid have with being downtown is the fact that, first of all, he's the youngest on that board. That we got to look at. Second of all, they don't want him there. Third of all, he's being made a politician now instead of a concerned citizen in the city. So he has to play the half a dozen in one hand, shit in the other game. You understand what I'm saying? Because let me tell you something, bro. On this kid first journey coming out, he had support because of an incident that had took place on the south side of Atlanta. That's the only support he got, man. That's the only support that kid got. In November 2022, I think around October, November 2022, don't you know they went at that kid and said that he was a YSL gang member
Wow.
just because he's from that side of town? Yeah, see, that's what they not telling people.
Right.
You understand? So he's fighting a battle, man. You understand? By himself.
Right.
If he had the support promise you.
What do you
this.
feel like he
If
didn't?
If he had the support, man, look at him in some of them meetings. A lot of time when they ask him questions in those meetings, he buck on it, but he know that he can only go so far because he don't have the support.
Right.
If he had the support, he'll show his natural black ass in there. He just don't have the support because, like I said, you got to think of where he come from. He come from the side of town that the Fulton County DA office is trying to make a real hooligan-ass neighborhood.
Got it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So he got to play the political
Conservative.
game.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? He don't have a choice.
Right.
But if he had a choice, they've been trying to get that kid out of there, man, since he been there. Trust me.
Yeah, he's one term, so next year I think he run again, re-election.
They've been trying to get him out of there because if they get him out of there,
Don't
let
have
me show
nobody
you how
to
it go.
represent that part.
If they get him out of there, the south side of Atlanta die again. Trust me when I tell you that. Because, I don't know if y'all from here or not.
Like from Chicago.
This is somebody that's from here. Been here all my life. If you go on your phone right now and Google politicians from the south side of Atlanta, it'll probably say just one, and that's him. We have never had a politician from the south side of Atlanta on no boards.
Oh, wow.
Knowing they come straight from the west side. They come from anywhere from Carver High to goddamn Mays High. Mays, Doug, Washington, all that. That's where all our politicians came from, man. That side of town. Why y'all think everything is over there?
Right.
Can you understand?
Yeah.
Thank you. Why you think everything is on that side of town? Knowing. We have had people to ruin, but no one succeeded. Hey man, the city councilmen that's in our district probably couldn't name you 3 people from our district. Because they never came over there.
Right.
They never came outside of town, man. We don't even know how they were wearing the office because we weren't voting in the damn way.
His name Antonio Lewis.
His name Antonio Lewis. You understand what I'm saying? So he's the first one from the south side community. And look what they tried to do to him. Make him a gang member. You understand what
Yeah,
I'm
they
saying?
arrested him and everything.
Oh, wow.
They tried to make this boy a gang member. This boy got locked up, man. Probably been close to a year now. I think it was intentional. Locked him up because he had a half of a blunt on an ashtray in the car. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Interesting.
This kid has went through some shit, man, trying to
Right.
be righteous on the city council to make a difference.
Right.
He done went through it. Everything that they come out with that's not right, he voted against it. They just don't tell you that.
Right.
Because it's majority. Shit, he just won.
Right.
You can ride down, you can get on Cleveland Avenue. Go down Cleveland Avenue. Go down any streets. Go down any streets on the backside of Cleveland Avenue, anywhere. Guess what we got now?
What's that?
Speed breakers. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't never had them.
Yeah, he live off Cleveland.
Thank you. Ain't never had them. But we got them now. We got them now. Gentrification is on Jonesboro Road, Cleveland Avenue, Fire Park Road. They got houses.
You got COVID, Big Jeff.
No, don't give me no COVID now, dang it.
Don't give it to me,
Hey,
bro.
they got houses. They building communities. They building housing communities right up the street from the projects I came from. And get what they say those motherfuckers starting at?
What?
400.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's crazy.
And watch they get bought up too. they gonna get
You
bought.
understand? No. Hey, 400.
Right.
Jonesboro Road, by the south.
That's about to change. You're gonna see a Starbucks coming soon. You know
Get
it's
what,
over.
dog? But get what they want. But get what they won't allow. They won't allow nobody from that side of town to buy nothing. The projects that we came out of, Jonesboro South Community, we tried to buy the land. They said bullshit. Okay.
You're gonna see the bike lanes coming soon.
Thank you. They down
You're
there.
gonna see
Already down
You're
there.
gonna see the white people, women walking their dogs.
They
in the
already
morning,
over there.
Riding
Yeah,
their
I think
bikes.
they already
Bro,
over there.
they already over there.
See, yeah. Give
You
it another
understand?
5 years.
Thank you. They
It's gonna be
already
less
over
of
there.
us. I call them clear people.
Now they going from Metropolitan
That's how they
that
did
way.
Tetwood. Yeah.
You
Same
understand?
way.
They going from Metropolitan that way now.
Yep.
Yeah. The people who own businesses on Metropolitan, they trying to run them out, man. Trying to run them out.
Yeah, and that's because they putting the homeless people out before what we have the soccer cup coming up next year. Some world meeting we supposed to be having here. We got the Super Bowl again.
Thank you.
So they trying to clean up the homelessness in every.
This YSL trial has made them so much money they can do what the hell they want to do.
How do they make money though?
Streaming.
Okay, gotcha.
This shit was shown every day.
All over the country, all over the
You think they ain't
world,
making
different
the money?
countries.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They allow one streaming company to stream this case. Who you think made that deal?
Funny, your girl funny.
Hey man, you know, just Thug alone had over 8 million followers. So imagine just 3 out of them 8
Right.
looking at this shit every day. You do the math. Now, but don't forget, this shit was shown worldwide
Right.
every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would say like the
Cop City being built right now. You don't hear me, do you? Cop City being built right now. Where y'all think that money coming from?
And then wasn't there an article printed in Newsweek about some funds that Funny used?
Hey man, them folk done used all kind of fun.
Right.
They making up for a lot of shit that's been hid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
because like even with Nathan Wade, they say that he was paid out of like the
a fund,
repossession
fund,
like
from
when they
Young
repossess
Thug.
cars.
That was the allegations
stuff.
in
But
Newsweek.
guess what though? But guess what everybody forgot?
What?
She was never punished for doing it. What was her punishment at? She ain't been punished yet.
Not yet.
Him getting out the case, that wasn't a benefit. He wasn't supposed to have been on it
That
anyway.
wasn't a punishment.
Isn't it still with the state? Aren't they still?
That's over with.
That's
bro.
over?
Trust
Okay.
me. By him stepping down, as they say,
Okay.
supposedly killed. How him stepping down killed that case? He wasn't supposed to be there anyway.
Right.
He wasn't a Fulton County employee. He's a private attorney. Everything that he is was against the Fulton County policy.
Right.
He was never even supposed to be hired as a prosecuting attorney because he didn't work in the Fulton County office.
Right.
So him saying, okay, I step down then.
Pretty
Who won?
much like a slap on the wrist.
That wasn't no slap on the damn wrist. He ain't had to give back no money. He ain't had to pay no nothing.
I think he came up on $800,000 during that time span.
Free money. So she the one supposed to have been punished for it though. She the one broke the law, not him.
Kind of.
He was an accessory,
Right.
but she was the actual culprit. When when somebody gonna do something to her?
She's above the law, they say.
Oh yeah, she definitely above the law. She definitely above the law. Hey man, she's showing you she above the law. She have shown us that they was above the law. And still showing you. Okay. So that means somebody got something on somebody in a real high place, boy, that they cannot touch her.
And then she got the former governor representing her,
Right.
Roy Barnes or something like that.
That's there you go. There you go. You understand? Hey man, shit. Let that have been in. You see how fast they went at Mr. Howard
Right.
on some hearsay,
Right.
and then he beat the case. They just wanted to get him out the office.
Her former boss.
Thank you. So, but you know, we gonna wrap this thing up, and want to appreciate you, Mr. J, for coming.
Thank you.
And let you tell your story, man. And you know, if you ever feel free to want to come back, man, the door is open.
Yes,
you know, and you can make it. You know, we want you to pass the word around to let in and everybody know that they can come on this show and tell their story and talk their truth.
Yep, definitely. So if I could just tell the people to come out January 10th, that's the next court date for one of the assailants, Judge Swall's courtroom.
Okay.
So that's at 9 a.m. So I'm trying to get people just to come out and support, file a Rule 22 so that you can cover it, because the judge has been denying anybody to come into the courtroom to record.
They're trying to cover a lot of stuff up.
Yeah.
They doing that.
So, and then everybody can follow me at JEWESLEY06. And that's on TikTok and Instagram, and you'll see all of the stories of how I kind of break it all down, of all of the injustices that I've been facing for 6 years.
Say that 3 times for us. Give them that info again 3 times.
All right, court is January 10th at 9 a.m. Judge Swall, SCHWALL.
What county?
Fulton
What
County
courtroom?
Courthouse. Okay. And you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at JEWESLEY06. January 10th, Judge Swall's courtroom, 9 a.m. JEWESLEY06. Come out, show some love, show some support. You know, inbox me if you need more information.
Night. So well, we're gonna wrap it up for tonight. We went a little longer than we normally do, and you know, that's how deep these conversations can get. You know, and like I say, we make sure that whoever comes on this show is the host of the show for that day. And we want to thank Mr. J for coming.
Yes, sir.
And Miss Anita showed up, the show out. And I want to thank Jerome for showing up to
the best
show his
publicist in the A, y'all.
show his support for Mr. J, and you know, also to attend and show support for the show. And as we say always,
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank y'all for tuning in. And until we see you all again next week, this is Big Jeff of YSL Loaded, coming to you from No Days Off Radio
And
Production.
This is Shanita from @AbsoluteNow Instagram.
And we're coming out with nothing but the truth. And we out.
What's your name?